Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next Devouring Dark session. Last time it was the giant fight. Basically, that was all that took place last time. I forget what they're called, like Vati or something. Anyway, the Vati was sort of just looking around, um, and the bigger group, the group that is not yet reunited with Edo-san, decided to attack it, and it went over relatively well. Um, and they managed to convert him from the shadow and got him doing other things other than killing them. So they got him to start attacking the other giant that was further away. Um, and that was pretty much it. We had to end in the middle of it due to everybody having to go. So, um, yeah, so last time, where we left off specifically, was the two giants were sort of like Greco Roman power struggling with each other, linked fingers, and sort of like trying to overpower each other. And it turned out relatively well, at least at the point that we were at. Um, the evil giant managed to overpower the good giant for a while, and then the good giant, with some help from the team, managed to push the other giant back down onto the ground. And that was where we left off. Um, so, yeah, the other giant is on the ground now. There's still the swarms in the sky of Aarakocra, and there's behind the good giant, there's these weird elemental things that are kind of being a problem. But other than that, that's where we're at the moment. We were sort of in soft initiative sort of thing. We were just sort of uh, describing the things that your characters wanted to do to affect the outcome of the fight, and then it would sort of happen, and then we would go from there. So the one giant is being pinned on the ground in the middle of, like, they've been doing things that you would imagine giants would do, like smash buildings as they're trying to push each other, that sort of thing. So the other giant is currently on the ground in the middle of some smashed, ruined buildings, and that's where we are. So at this point, Edo-san is quite a distance away. Um, he's trying to pick off things in the sky, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah, I was going to get into position, close enough position, to shoot at the evil Vati. Yes, they're called Vati.
Yes. So, yes, you were in position, if I remember correctly, and you were shooting to help. But
Yes.
now that you see that the other Vati is currently laying on the ground, what do you want to do?
Let's see.
Because technically it's in prone, which means ranged attacks have
Yeah.
a harder time hitting.
Well, you said there were smaller things attacking our giant, so yeah, keep those things away from our giant, so to say.
Okay, so you're contributing. You're sort of sniping at the flying things that are actually Aarakocra. Your Aarakocra buddy is joining the fight. He flies over, and he's sort of helping. He's sort of stabbing the other Aarakocra, trying to help them. But that leaves the rest of the group. What do you guys want to do? You guys have sort of been riding around on their shoulders, and since it's sort of in, it's course of the fight is sort of determined by the giants themselves. I haven't been getting you to make rolls or anything. So I haven't been getting you to like stabilize on the giants or anything like that. You guys are able to hold on to the giants as long as you want. So you guys are on the shoulders of the good giant, unless if you want to be somewhere else. So for
what size are they considered?
What? Sorry.
What size are they considered?
Size? Yeah, they're considered the largest one. I think it's gargantuan.
Gargantuan. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the largest one. Which means that they take up like more than 4 spaces. That's pretty much what gargantuan means.
Yeah, 4 is huge, so it's more.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
6 is... Let me actually see.
Gargantuan, they can take up any size other than smaller.
Large is 4, huge is 3 by 3. Gargantuan, yes, any size it can be.
Yeah. So their foot would take up the size of a huge creature. They're pretty big.
Yeah, pretty
if
big,
that
yeah.
helps.
No, it doesn't. But okay.
Yeah,
they're actually pretty impressive that one of your zombies survived getting hit by it when it fell.
I described it as the head coming in contact with it, not the rest of the body. So. Either way, so what do you guys want to do? You each have a chance to do something to help promote your side of the fight. So there's those weird sort of wind elemental things that are behind your good giant, and there's the Aarakocra flying in the air. It seems like the good giant has the upper hand, at least at the moment.
How much is my bear helping with wind elementals at his feet? Because I sent the bear down to like kill them all.
It's distracting them, but unless if it gets help from one of the actual players, it'll probably get hurt severely, if not die.
Well, I can just
because
rebuild
there's like 5 or 6 of them.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Yes,
what
you
about the zombies? Are they doing fine? Or?
They're remaining animate, I'll say.
Okay. In that case, I would like to just cast light at the tip of my spear and try and jump off towards the head of the other creature. Because why not?
Sure. I'll allow that. Anybody else? The last person, I guess, is Lily, unless if X-Blow wants to do something other than...
You remember the contraption that I made? Like a frisbee?
Yes.
I'm going to use bomb charges to make another one, just with a flashbang instead. That is a thunderstone.
Okay.
So they have to do like a wisdom save, and if not, they get knocked back 10 feet.
Okay.
I'm prone.
And how many bomb charges did I have to use?
You can use 2.
2.
To make 1.
Okay. So I throw that down at the wind elementals to help my bear out.
Alright, so it is a Constitution save?
As always.
Okay. Alright. Just gonna quickly... Shouldn't take me too long to get through it. Come on. They're probably before this. Okay. Okay, it should be before this even. I'm pretty sure that it is. Yes, here they are. Okay. Their Constitution. Oh, they have a +2. That's not too bad.
I heard -5.
Yeah, -5. That's not too bad.
It does no damage, but it kills them anyways.
Alright, 21.
What? Oh,
19.
you
It passes.
devil. That's not nice. But there was 2 of them in the frisbee, though.
Yes. Okay, fine. I'll roll another one. Okay, there they go.
They don't die. They just get knocked like 10 feet. Nothing else.
Okay.
They also get prone, so they should start falling out of the sky.
Can a wind elemental be knocked prone?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna check. See if it's possible.
Let me see.
It doesn't seem possible.
Condition immunity's prone. So
Yeah.
yes, it is immune to being prone.
Told you. I'm a smart boy.
And they were next to the ground anyway, but they wouldn't fall like a huge amount anyway. They were pulling at the friendly giant's feet. So they were next to the ground anyway. But that still does knock them back, which would negatively affect them still. I'll say that counts as a saving your giant from the wind elementals. That's fine. So, now we got Lily. What does she want to do?
I'm just going to be healing wherever it needs to happen.
Okay, fair. The giant that you are currently riding has been taking damage from various sources. So you can, I'll say you use 20 points. Do you have 20 points of healing left?
Oh, easily. I don't believe I've used any of it.
I think you used some when you weren't there.
I did. I used 8.
Okay.
Yes. I
don't
did
think you
use
used some on
some
me.
because you weren't here, so I said, well, if anybody needs healing, you can use her healing.
Yeah, you healed me.
Cool. Glad to be of service.
Thank you.
Yes, so you use 20 points of healing to heal your friendly giant, and he takes the healing and looks a little bit more. He's got a little bit more strength behind him, so that helps him. So
Like
the
a
only
champ.
thing left that we have to deal with is I'm just gonna get you to roll Tabaki to see if you manage to land properly. So it is an acrobatics check.
Okay. Acrobatics.
Yes.
Not athletics.
No.
Okay. In that case,
Because you're attempting to land on something, so.
I also have a D4.
You really need a D4 on a yeah.
Well, it adds, so it does make it more spectacular. Yes.
Without that one extra, I would never have made it.
You
You
took
would've-
a 360 no scope and just landed on his face.
Yeah, you would have made it, but if you add more, sometimes the DCs are higher than a critical, so it can help in certain circumstances. But either way, with this particular circumstance, you land on his head. He is currently being pinned down, so he's sort of like his eyes like try to go up as far as they can to look at you because you're at his forehead. And he's just sort of growling.
I said I casted light on my spear earlier, so I just wanted to jam it into one of his eyes to try and blind him.
Okay, I'll allow it. Whether or not you completely blind him, you're not sure, but you manage to stab him in the eye, which distracts him long enough. So, since all of you managed to, the only person who didn't really suffer any consequences is Edo-san, so I'm gonna get you to roll an attack.
Okay.
Since I got everyone else to roll something.
One of my
Or
only
technically.
attacks that survived. 17.
Technically, this creature is so big that it can't avoid something of even that small of an amount. So, you hit him.
Or 25 damage.
Okay. So, yeah, it gets hit
Ooh.
in the side of its head. And, let's see. So, as a result of what you guys have been doing, the sequence of events starts happening. The good giant was punching the bad giant in the face, but since one of you jumped on there, he's not going to continue punching him in the face as to avoid damaging you. So then instead, he just sort of grabs it around the throat and just starts squeezing tightly. The other giant the bad giant, I'll call him, attempts to put his foot underneath the good giant's, try to get leverage on him to try to kick him off. However, with the distracting damage, you're managing to not allow him to gain leverage. You have a feeling that it's probably only going to take one more turn for him to succeed in dispatching him. However, there's still a chance that if you try to do things and fail, that it might not work. So, what do you guys want to do for this last turn?
Or the thingies that's in the sky.
The things that are up in the sky, there's a swarm of them. There's lots of them.
How far away are they?
Well, since you guys swooped down, because the giant went down to pin the other one, they swoop down as well. So I'll say that as long as you're on the giant, they're about 30 feet up from you.
Are they in like a big cluster?
Yeah, there's a lot of them up there.
Let's see if they're good at dexterity saves.
Alright. Dexterity. I can quickly pull this up, because it's the first monster in the monster manual. Dex, they have +2. So, +2. 10.
That's not good enough.
So, they get...
Take 8 fire damage.
And, let's see how much health they have.
Boom!
Determine...
8 damage.
Yeah, they take a lot of damage. Most of them would have... If they were damaged at all, they would have got knocked out of the sky. So I'll say that since people have been fighting them, yes. Quite a few of them just fall from the sky and land on the ground somewhere. The rest of them, you made a big dent in them, so they're gonna be having a hard time. So anybody else who's up next who wants to do something next?
Yeah, sure. I'll just leave my spear that should be glowing up by the light spell in one of his eyes, and I'll run over to the other ones and I'll try and decay it.
Okay.
For 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. That would hit.
For 16 necrotic damage.
Okay. So his eye starts turning black and shriveled. It doesn't look like... It's not, like, completely destroyed or anything. It looks intact, but it's all shriveled and black. You have a feeling he probably can't see.
Well, that's the plan, so...
Yes. Alright, who's up next?
That will be
Lily or me? Okay.
I'll go. Can I hit anything?
Yes, you are within range of the enemy giant.
Fantastic. I will attempt to.
Alright.
And
Alright.
smite, double damage.
The script gods are in our favor today.
Don't say that out loud.
I'm assuming, of course.
Knock on wood.
Yes, that hits.
Some
Alright.
damage. And then I'm going to Divine Smite, if that's cool.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's double dice, so
First level spell.
48.
Yes.
Alright.
Another 23.
That's one
Yeah,
of your
you-
attacks.
You took a huge chunk out of his health.
Right.
Nice.
Attempt to smack again.
Sure.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes, that hits him.
13 damage. I have
Alright.
1 spell slot left, so I'm gonna hold on
Me
to that.
too.
That's fair. So, with a glowing axe, you just sort of swing, and then the glow sort of fades away as you swing again. But it does a lot of damage.
He
You can
has
tell
no
it hurt
moves
him.
now.
Alright,
Can I yell an insult?
sure, you can do whatever you want.
Obviously, charisma was your dump stat.
It just sort of looks at you and growls. But
Alright.
it's pinned to the ground, and its neck is being held in place, so it can't really do much.
I'm standing on the good giant's shoulder and just going, "Ooh, burn!"
Yep. Alright, last person is the person who is currently not with the rest of the group. So what do you want to do?
Oh.
You can hear shouting, but you can't hear specifically what's being said. You're a little
Keep
bit too far away.
shooting Shadow Crowcross out of there.
Alright, fair enough. So that continues to happen. So, since you did leave one threat untended to, technically.
What threat? What?
Yeah, the air elementals, nobody went after those. So
Yeah,
there
you
is
said
a
that they
chance-
were from our giant.
No. They are pulling at the good giant's feet, trying to trip him. So technically, it has a chance of getting the upper hand. It's fine. It's not very high chance of working. Let's see how it goes. Luckily, that is high enough. The good giant manages to completely, you just hear a loud as it snaps the neck of the opposing giant. And it starts to stand up, however, it does get tripped still. But he still succeeded, but he still falls as the air elementals behind his feet just pulled his legs out from under him. And he falls onto the bad giant. So, you luckily defeated the second giant. There is a third one somewhere. However, it is currently not within visible range.
Well, then it's pretty damn
so
far
this,
away.
this other giant is, and the rest of the shadow creatures, they just flee at this point. They seem to be going perhaps in a specific direction, but you'd have to roll to find out. You can roll investigation or survival, either one, to determine which direction they're going.
I have no idea.
Maybe you do. Is anybody else going? Okay, great.
I have no clue.
Lonnie was too busy shouting insults.
Well, let's see. I did good.
Technically, I'll say that the reason she doesn't notice is because the good giant suddenly started falling towards her in her direction. So she managed to avoid getting crushed, I'll say. So since Giovanni's character is currently separated, technically he has a separate, like, your three is a group, but his is technically separate. So I'll describe what you guys see, and then I'll describe what he sees. You guys look over, and Tabaki is the first one to notice, as he tells everyone else. They are flying towards the center of the city. All of them. Or even the air elementals that were trying to trip him, they succeeded, and after doing so, they just sort of flew away. And they're heading in that direction, towards the big building where one of them came from originally. And Giovanni, your character, you see them flying in a specific direction. However, from your current vantage point, you're not able to tell where they're going. But they're all flying in a single direction. They're not, like, scattering out or anything like that.
So yeah, now I'm on top of a rooftop.
Yeah, and you see that the giants like wrecked pretty much a city block's worth of houses as they were struggling against each other.
Let's hope nobody was home.
Well, basically, try
Too bad
find
it's Sunday.
All the shops are closed. Everybody's sitting home.
Yeah, that's a Dragon Ball Z reference if you didn't get it.
Well, I'm gonna try find a way down, if there is a way down from where I am currently.
Yeah, you can easily get down. You might have to like be careful and climb down, but the fight is currently at a standstill. So you
Is there
currently
like a hole, a window, or anything I can get into the building, then go down inside the building?
I'll give that to you
Do
since
like
you're
Venom.
out of
Jump.
combat. I'll give it to him because he's out of combat, so he can easily
Since
just
you so long, everyone just ran away.
yeah.
No, you should have said do a flip.
Do a flip.
Ooh.
Either way, you
I'll-
managed to climb down.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So I'll say that while he is gone for a second, it is you three, and he is approaching while you three are doing whatever it is you're doing. The good giant seems a little disoriented from what just happened. So you guys can do whatever it is you want.
I'm guessing that the shadow is pouring off the evil giant.
Yeah, his form is returning to normal. Yes.
Well, Lonnie wasn't here when I asked her to do this, so I'm gonna ask her again. Try to put the orb into the giant that is leaking evil and ask it to activate.
Okay.
And technically last time, he did ask you to do this, and I controlled your character to do so. And the results were good. The black shadow mass, whatever is within range of the activation, it just sort of makes like a dome-like hole in the black shadow mass. And it just dissolves it quicker, I guess. Is
Awesome.
one way to put it.
We did
So,
a
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Any
tell the
particular reason
giant-
you were rolling in intelligence just before?
No, I didn't.
No, he did.
Ew.
And it failed miserably.
Okay. So you failed.
Yeah.
Alright. Anything else? Was Ben about to say something? Before
Yeah, I
I
was
interrupted?
just gonna tell the giant and our party, so you guys, that we should be resting before we attack the palace.
Yeah. Please. Long rest.
Well, I can't
Alright.
wait to try and blow us up with a new super explosive.
Yeah, and I don't know if she was here when he did that last time. Were you here?
I think she was. I did it pretty early in the fight.
I don't think it was.
He used
Yeah, I think
his
she was AFK at that point because she went right back when I paralyzed the creature.
well, either way, he used his magic item he got from his backstory and managed to get one of the most powerful things it can do. It's a random item and it can do various things, but he managed to get the more powerful version of what he wanted. So, which is a bomb. It's like a little bomb that shows up and he can throw it, and it does different things, and it blew up spectacularly.
Have you ever played Fallout? It's like the mini nuke, but it can also blow up in your face.
Pretty much. It can also do other things, but
Which
yes.
I have no idea.
Yes.
Which is gonna be fun to find out.
But he on his first roll of it rolled as high as he could roll, so he got the best one.
If I get the 10 next time, I'm gonna be kind of mad because I already know what that does.
Fair enough. So you guys are hanging around, or the good giant eventually stumbles back to his feet.
Well, everything kind of just fled, so we can we just like take a long rest right there? I don't know.
You can attempt to. Something might come back. Is the thing, but I'm not gonna say if it is or not. It might.
We
There
should
might
go in
be
further
something
back.
that comes.
So they wait until the dark giant wakes up and then walk back to the farm. I'm just
That'd be
asking.
good.
I mean, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that.
I guess. I'm cool either way. Take a long rest or wait for them to wake up.
Yeah, we're doing both.
All right, then.
Why not
All right,
both?
the dark giant, as you called him, begins to turn into a light giant, if you will, and he awakens from his shadow slumber, if you will. Just for Lonnie's sake, since she wasn't here when I described what they look like, they're sort of just like if you know the Colossus of Rhodes, I think it's called. You know what that is, right? Just
The big statue?
Yeah, a huge statue that looks like a Greco-Roman guy.
Mhm.
They basically look like that, except they're purple. They have like the leaf crowns, whatever those are called. They sort of have like the toga that doesn't go up on the chest. It just sort of hangs down on their, kind of like a loincloth.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much what they look like. They're gigantic, purple Greco-Roman looking guys.
Okay.
So they're both awakened, and they start talking to each other in a language that you don't understand.
Giant, huh?
Actually, one of you understands Giant, and they are speaking a different language than that. So they aren't speaking a language any of you can understand.
Cute.
That's
Do you know
probably
I'm caught up to us by this point?
Hi guys! Look at me! Look at me! Hi! Hello! I'm short, but hi!
Are you trying to get their attention?
Yeah.
Okay. They're basically like, you're looking straight up. And even if you do, you might be like looking up their little loincloth skirt thing.
Hello.
And they just sort of glance down at you. They don't say anything, but
Hi!
they're looking to see if you have anything important to say.
I have plenty of important things to say, but I need someone to look at me. Hi! Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! Look at me!
They look at you for half a second after
What were
you
you
finish
guys
speaking.
doing?
And then they just start talking to each other again.
Anyone else got anything better?
Yeah, I asked them in Giant if they are willing to storm the palace with us in the morning.
They both look at you, and one of them responds in Giant, saying, "Well, why not attack now?
My
They are
blood would be
running away. They expect us to be too strong for them to take."
my blood be flowing faintly. Tonight is not the night.
He nods at you and then looks at the other one, speaks in a language that you don't understand for a second, and then he goes, "I understand. You small ones tend to get harmed quite easily."
Racist.
It's up to you to determine what that means.
Is he telling me I'm short?
Perhaps.
I tell him back, my physical body is in perfect shape as I stab a small dagger through my hand. I tell him it's my connection with his blood that's weakened as I raise my bloody hand.
He nods, and then he looks at the other one, says something in the same language, and then looks back at you and goes, "Well, we can rest with you if you wish."
Yeah, I agree to that, and I tell them we're planning to go a bit back in case they try and ambush us in the night.
He looks at the other one nods, and then he looks at you and goes, "Any particular spot?"
I give him the directions to the place, to the farm,
Okay.
or whatever.
Yeah, the farm. They know that farms exist in the place that they live. Yes, they're. Sorry for that. Anyway, they know the place that you're talking about when you describe the directions, and they look at each other and nod. And one of them offers one of his hands, which is like a huge elevator platform in size, for you guys to climb on if you wish.
I also asked them if I could have a vial of their blood.
Okay, you can ask them. Make a persuasion check.
I tell them it's in order to know where you are in case we should get separated in our battles.
Okay, if you say that, then they go. What the guy goes, the one that was talking to you goes, "Aren't we tall enough for you to see?"
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Oh no, we lost our giant. Where could he be?
But he
Yes,
still asks
but
you.
plane of air is quite a large plane.
Looks at the other one. Now you can roll your persuasion check. Because he's
Okay.
gauging what the other one is thinking.
So it's I'm gonna use my guidance and persuasion. I'm very good at that.
Well, you rolled high.
21.
He looks at the other one. The other one shrugs slightly. And he sort of just moves his arm like this in front of you, and on his elbow is a small wound. On
Yeah, so
his on his body, but compared to you, it's very large and profusely bleeding.
Yeah, I just use my magic to fill a vial, and then I use my last spell slot to fix his wound by healing him. Let's see which one. That one. It's level 2, because that's all I have left. So for 18.
Okay. And the other one begrudgingly just offers his hand out to you if you want to cut it or whatever.
Yeah, I just do a small cut.
Yeah, on him it's less than a paper cut's worth of damage. So he's fine. So they're offering to carry you to where you want to go if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I jump on my bear and go up to the hands.
Okay. So since Giovanni hasn't come back, I'm going to say that he was too slow to reach you before you guys start leaving. So you guys start leaving.
Walk, 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 walk.
However, you are on the backs of literal giant people, so it's not going to be walk, 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 walk. It's going to be
Walk.
Block, 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 yeah.
And it seems as though they made the streets the proper size for them to walk one foot in front of the other, sort of walking style. So they're not crushing buildings as they walk, but during the fight they didn't care. But when they're walking, they're actually being careful not to destroy the infrastructure. And they do a pretty good job at it. They're just sort of carefully walking along the streets. And I'll say after it takes a lot less time for them to get where they want to go compared to how long it took for you guys to walk around. They get there in about an hour, whereas you guys took about an hour or more to get to the bank.
Well, at least we got 50 gold pieces for it, so it's rough.
Wasn't it 25? Wasn't it 25?
Yeah, 55.
Either way, you guys managed to get to the farm, and they put you down next to the farm. And your eagles are still there, luckily.
Yep.
They didn't fly away or anything. Because it seems as though none of the fighting got that far. So, the eagles are still there.
So I'm back.
Alright, so since you took so long,
We're
Yeah.
dead.
incidentally penalized, and you didn't reach them quickly enough. So here's
one of
what
the
happened with
giants
you.
kind of crushed you with his foot by
Yeah,
accident. We're sorry.
my body decided to go thermonuclear.
Okay, that's enough information. So,
Yeah.
That's a lot of pee.
I'm not going into that.
either way, here's what happened. You were attempting to approach the giants. However, before you managed to reach their location, they started walking away. So, what do you want to do? You can chase them, but they're moving faster than you can move. We can't hear you.
Try catch up.
Okay.
Keep forgetting that little thing.
They are moving faster than you can move, but you can try to track them. It's not like they're super tiny rabbits or something. It's not going to be hard to track them. You can follow them where they're going.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and track them. Please don't kill me. Survival,
Okay.
I guess, then.
Sure. Not a high DC or anything, but you can roll it.
Is that high enough?
The DC was 5.
Yay!
So you managed to, I mean, you can see them over the buildings and things of that nature. So it's not like you're scrounging for little bits of dirt or anything. It's not difficult. So you do see where they are going. And behind you is your black Aarakocra friend. And your newer friend, who is Ifriti.
Mm-hmm.
They are both following behind you, but you arrive much later than when they get there. About, I'd say, 2 or 3 hours after they arrive is when you get there, because they move just so quickly. So I'm gonna give them a chance, unless if you want to do anything with your two friends while tracking. We'll switch to the other team for a little bit.
No, then in the meantime, I'm going to be gone again. Because I'm being called to do something.
Okay.
And
Sure.
I guess by the time I'm back, I need to switch machines, so...
May as well do that right away.
Yeah.
Is it nature again?
No. Not this
Okay.
time.
Okay.
So, yeah. See you in a few.
Alrighty.
This time it's arcane in nature.
Alright. So, you guys are at the camp, and you've brought a few people with you. A huge group of Aarakocra that you managed to convert, as well as the 2 giants.
What? Aarakocra?
Yeah, Aarakocra, which are the winged bird people.
Cool. Oh yeah. Now I remember.
Yeah, they were flying around the battlefield, and you blew some of them up.
Yeah, I kind of remember now. Azul. I was wondering what they were.
Yes. Yes, Azul was one of them, yes.
Could they carry us?
They could try. Depending on the individual, they might be able to easily do so, or they might not.
Okay.
I think we might be too big, Nani.
Me? This little Lightfoot halfling?
It was a joke. I'm smaller than you.
This little Lightfoot halfling, sir?
Well, you have heavy armor on, don't you?
Correct.
The armor weighs more than you do.
Which is still... mapping this. Which is still less than the average human.
Yes, but your armor does weigh more than you do. So let's say that somebody couldn't pick up a heavy bag of wheat or something. They wouldn't be able to pick you up.
I just need to find one with a strength of 20. That's it. We're good.
Yeah, you just have to find one that's strong, that's all. You can ask them if
Would
there's
they
a
be able
strong
to-
one among them.
Would they be able to carry me and my 60 gold pieces? They are in my
They
bag of holding.
might be able to carry you, but
They are in my bag of holding. Doesn't that like counter the weight?
yes, technically they are counted as weightless at the moment. As long as they're in the bag, they're weightless.
Oh, all my 65 gold pieces are in the bag.
Yes, all your gold pieces, including the ones that you didn't get at the bank, are in your bag. Alright, just a second here.
Can I like use the last of my bomb chargers to make like landmines around the farm in case somebody decides to walk in?
Yes, but what I will say is when you finish your long rest, they will become inert. So they won't blow up.
Yeah, because I get my charges back.
Yeah. So when you
just-
get your charges back, they don't work anymore.
So how many charges for one landmine?
One.
One? Okay, so 8 landmines scattered around. I tell everybody where they are so nobody steps on it by accident. All 8 except one. One is secret.
Okay.
Yes.
So you point out 7 locations, and you neglect to tell them about the 8th.
I forget the 8th.
Fair enough. So while he's doing that, do you guys have anything that you want to talk to the giants about? The Vati, which are very large wind giants, basically.
Teach me your language.
One of them looks down at you, just looks slightly perturbed, and then just looks back at the other one, and the other one goes, "What do you want, little one?" In common.
I want to know how to talk. Giant thing.
He looks at the other one, and the other one goes, "I don't know," sort of look. And he just looks down at you and says, "It would take ages for you to learn our language."
Okay, no time like the present. Speaking of which, do you have a present for me?
He looks at the other one again, and the other one just shrugs again. And the other one looks down at you and goes, "Well, I can teach you a few words."
Yeah, the bad ones.
He again just blankly looks at the other one, and the other one just says something in the language that you don't understand. And then he goes, "Fine. Would you like to know it in writing or just vocalization?"
Nah, I want to know how to say bad things about other people's moms.
And he just sort of offers his hand out to you for you to climb up on him.
Hop.
Alright, and he just sort of, like a very fast-moving elevator, moves his hand up to his shoulder.
I'm gonna die.
As he allows you to climb off
Clean
his
his ear.
hand. Climb off his hand onto his shoulder.
Hop.
Alright, and he walks a small distance away and sits down, and he attempts to teach you Oran, I think.
Did he step on any of my landmines?
No, since you pointed it out, and the other one, I would assume, would be relatively close by to the farm.
I think there was 8. I can't remember.
He can, in one stride, walk over where your landmines are placed. So, he just walks over them. Yes, it is Auran. Auran is the name of the language. It is the language of air. So things like air elementals, and anything that comes from the plane of air would know this language. And he attempts to teach you. And if you wish to learn more than, say, like 1 or 2 words, you can roll an intelligence check to see if you know.
That. I did that as a save by accident, but it doesn't matter.
Alright, so, yeah, it's probably the same number anyway. But, he attempts to teach you a couple of phrases, however, you don't really catch on to it. And as a player, if you were to repeat what he said, you would probably not say what he was trying to teach you.
Just need practice with the shrill voice.
Alright? And the language of the wind, it can be spoken in multiple dialects, all of which can be understood. You can say it more like a breathy wind, or you can say it more like a rolling thunder. So there's the different dialects.
Well, that's why my tongue doesn't naturally make those noises.
Exactly. Which is why it's quite a hard language to learn. It's different pitches that include different words of wind. So, like, more high-pitched winds are different words, and mixed with low-pitched winds, that sort of thing.
Do they have 50 words for the word wind?
Different dialects, yes. So it's basically like someone saying hello or hi or howdy, that sort of thing.
Howdy, partner.
Yeah. They all mean the same thing, but they're different ways of saying it. And if you're a little bit, it's sort of like the Asian languages. If you say it, you can say something that sounds almost exactly the same, and it means something completely different. So, that's why I said if you tried to repeat it, it might come out as something completely different than what you thought you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, due to the fact that the wind pitches are very close together and the combinations are very hard to finesse, but you still tried and you can say a few words perfectly, but other than that, you can try and I'll get you to roll for them, but you might not say them correctly. Like, he taught you how to say, "Where's the bathroom?" And since you insisted, some other phrases that I'll allow you to pick.
Cool. All right. My character feels fulfilled.
All right. So, does Tabaki want to do anything during that time?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find like a room for myself or somewhere I could have some privacy.
Well, an easy place to find some privacy would be the place where you... Well, Yes. But the room where you resurrected that dead corpse, it probably doesn't smell very good, and no one would want to go in there.
Okay.
Trust me, he'll be fine in there alone.
Oh yeah,
He
I've
was
completely
last
forgot.
time. Last time he came out with a corpse that was able to fight. So
Yeah, so I'll go in there and I will start pouring a little ritual for myself, and I will call out to Sekwas with one of my newfound vials. So I'll offer him a vial of Vati blood. That's a
a
gift.
vial of which blood? Sorry.
The blood I just got, Vati blood.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna offer it to my god, and I'm gonna ask him for guidance to see if we will win in the palace tomorrow.
Okay. You can attempt a ritual.
So it's
So
probably
that's a religion check,
or
or a spell. I mean, if you're casting a spell, then you can cast the spell. Okay.
would a sacrificial offering that would probably Vati blood would probably make up that part, or
Yes. Yes. Your sacrificial the offering that is required is blood. Different amounts depending on what you're looking for, but since you're just sort of looking for, are we gonna do good? It's not much. Um, so, you offer up the blood, and since it's in a vial, it is currently corked. And when you attempt to cast it, it seems as though you're being blocked. But then when you open your eyes or sort of look around to see what's wrong, it seems as though the blood is trying to exit the vial, but is being stopped by the cork.
yeah, I would of course open the bottle and start pouring it out over.
Okay, that's fair. So once you uncork it and attempt to start pouring it around, the blood starts to strangely move and raises into the air slightly. And since this blood is relatively powerful, powerfully magic, that sort of thing, you might have been able to, say, make a potion out of it that might have done something. But either way, it sort of just forms into a very thin wall all around you in a circle, and it surrounds you. And what you look into is a vision of what is to come, possibly. Though you know that sometimes things that even gods cannot foresee happen and interrupt what they may show you. That's just a thing that's known. Sometimes the future isn't written in stone.
Yeah.
But you look around you, and it's sort of like you're in like a 360 TV screen almost. And you can look around you and see different things about the scene that you're looking at. And you appear to be inside of what looks like perhaps a basement or a dungeon, something underground that is being lit by torches. And you see locked up quite a few people. Aerokokra, other various races in a dungeon. If you want to see anything in particular about the scene, you can roll a religion check.
I look around at the prisoners and I see if any of them have blood red eyes. I'll take that as a sign.
Okay. Roll
Why
a
not?
religion check. See what you see.
18.
All right,
plus
you. And it's sort of like VR. You can sort of move around this area and see the different prisoners. And you sort of just look in the individual cells. You see people who appear to be starving. You see people who probably haven't been locked up nearly as long. And you look into one of the cells, and you see what looks like maybe 2 or 3 Ifriti, and one of them appears to be doing some sort of ritual sitting on the ground, and he opens his eyes, and instead of like a fiery orange color, and no, what's the white part of the eye called? Whatever. The white part of the eye is also covered, and it's just covered in red as he looks directly at you.
Like it's bloodshot?
It's completely red. Like,
Glowing red.
no, it's like a liquid is covering the iris, and it's just red. So solid. And he just sort of looks over at you in the vision, even though you know that they shouldn't be able to detect you.
Yeah.
So hopefully that was good enough to appease your symbol looking for.
Yeah. That was fine. So I know what to do now.
Oh,
right,
exactly
and-
what to do now.
He just sort of looks at the ground. He just sort of looks at the ground again and then closes his eyes and opens them, and his eyes go back to normal, and he just sort of looks around confused, and then you go back to the blood just sort of falls down like a curtain, and you're back where you were.
Okay. So yeah, if that's the case, then I'm gonna go outside to, I assume, explode the one I'll find, and I'll tell him I know what to do next. I have seen
What do we do next?
there is. I'll do a nature check and see if I know what it is.
Okay. Sure.
Let's see, nature.
Is it chocolate?
So I don't know what this is. There is a living fire in the dungeon beneath the palace. You must rescue him, break him out to win the war of the city.
Like an incendiary bomb? And we can
Or
use
like
it
a
to
living
blow up
fire.
the shadow people?
Not a device such as you hold, but a living one.
Maybe I can
You
make
can
it into a
describe
device
what
that
it
I can
looks
hold.
like. It might help him.
Yeah, so I just described what's on a free, but I call it a living fire.
Can I do like an
Oh.
Arcana check to see if I know what it is?
Sure, you can do a nature check.
Arcana? No? Nature?
You can try Arcana, but you'd get something different.
Okay, nature then. Woohoo!
You actually have a really high nature, so I don't know why you were afraid to use it.
My nature and Arcana are just the same. I just wondered if it was nature or magical.
Okay, yeah, it's technically nature. However, you have no idea what he's talking about. A person that's on fire, maybe?
I'm thinking of incendiary bomb. It's got to be an incendiary bomb.
Oh,
I like
sure.
this. We're gonna go get this bomb, and I pat him at the back. No worries.
And then I come out and inform Lily as well. I assume you're on the giant.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he is currently attempting to instruct her in the ways of their language. And he notices you approach and sort of just offers his hand for you to climb up.
So yeah, I tell you, both you and the giants, that I know what we need to do to win back the city. There's a living fire in the dungeons. We need to free him.
Would I know it's an Ifriti or something like that?
Based on his description, you can roll a nature check.
Nature. Ah, my best stat.
You know what Afridi are, but you don't know based on his description.
Okay, makes
Well,
sense.
If
it's
you
better
roll high
than
enough,
mine.
which I'll say that since you've seen them before, interacted with them, based on his description, you would know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the magic guys who like grant wishes and stuff like that.
And that must be why the blood showed me to him.
Oh, so then if we get him out, then he'll free. If we free him, and then we're gonna get presents and wishes.
From
What if
what
we
I
set
have
him on
seen,
fire? And
then
he
yes.
I don't know. Presents that are on fire. Sounds fun.
And
The
then
Vati just sort of looks at both of you and says, "Really? We need one of them to save us." And he just sort of seems dejected.
I'm sensing more racism here.
the blood is never wrong, I tell him.
He goes, "Whatever. What we really need is what's inside the palace."
Mr. Giant Man, Mr. Huge Person, don't you like wishes? I like wishes.
I don't need wishes.
We all have something we would need and wish for.
That's the thing in the palace. What is it?
Yeah, what is it? 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 What is it?
Well, there is a large orb inside the palace. It will allow us to summon a large storm that will drive out any enemies within our city. However, when the shadow approached, for some reason we were not able to use it. We attempted to, but it wasn't working at the time.
Work harder.
We need to enter the palace, figure out what is wrong with it, and activate it.
But first, we must
It's
find
probably
the
just out of batteries.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so since you followed them, I'll allow you to interject. He just sort of blankly glances at you and then continues the conversation with the other two.
What?
I told them, but first we need to find the dungeons.
Well, perhaps this person has knowledge of what is interfering with our orb. He just sort of starts thinking to himself. He says, "It's quite ironic that our enemies would know what is wrong with our orb and not us."
So then they'll be frenemies?
He sort of looks at you and he sort of tries to figure out what that word might mean, and he goes, "Perhaps."
Yay.
Because technically he's not up on your slime.
Word.
So, you three are just sort of sitting there.
Yeah, I go inside and I go start having a long rest.
Okay, so he sees that you are ready to leave, and he offers his hand and lowers you down.
I'm following him, but I'm not going to the house.
Okay, so he allows both of you to climb on, since you both indicate that you want to go down, and he puts you down.
Jeez, that smell. Ooh. Can I like build stuff when I'm long resting with my tinker tools?
You can attempt to. It depends on what you're trying to make.
I was gonna ask you about that. I was gonna ask you if I could try to make rocket boots.
Okay, I'll say that you start drawing up the blueprints for said rocket boots. Because technically you haven't told me about it, so this is the first I'm hearing of it, so this is the first your character is...
This is the first time I thought about them, because it sounded cool in my head.
Okay, so you start drawing up blueprints, and technically, if Giovanni ever returns, his character might be able to help you with those. Depends on if he's willing to help you or not.
You have to do like tinker tools checks to see how far I get on the blueprints.
Yes, but that is during your long rest. So technically Lily might not be. So, Lily, what are you doing? Do you wish to continue learning throughout the night, or are you going to attempt to take a long rest?
You're going to surprise attack them, so you can come back and show that you've been victorious while we've slept.
No, I'm gonna take a long rest. I would like to sleep next to the giant so I could hear him say things, and maybe I'll absorb more.
Okay, here's the deal. He'll allow you to set up a bedroll on his shoulder if you wish.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll say roll an intelligence check, see if you absorb anything while you're attempting to sleep.
Wow.
No, unfortunately, you're not good at the book learning. So, you don't learn much more. Maybe an approximation of a phrase.
Cool.
Yeah, if you would have rolled a lot higher, I would have gave you maybe a few more phrases or something definite. But unfortunately, you'll have to roll each time you try to say a phrase to see if you say it correctly.
Dang. Do I know the word the?
Roll a d20. And based on that number, I'll tell you whether or not you did.
Wow. 20. I mean, 2. 2.
No. Not definitely. You think you know how to say it, but really your character doesn't know how to say it.
All right. Every time I hear them talk and I hear the word the, I want to yell out, I know that word!
Through
Okay.
the night.
Not through the night.
I'll say that while you're awake, you do it, and even while you're asleep, you say it in your sleep, but you don't realize you're saying it.
Oh, God. That sounds obnoxious.
I know that word.
Okay, so, you arrive, Geo,
Yeah.
and everyone seems like they're getting ready to go to sleep in this camp, which in the camp, it consists of a bunch of Aarakocra, and those 2 Vati giants, and let's see, 2 people you don't recognize, you notice as you're walking through. However, I'm going to get you to roll a perception check to see if you notice anyone you recognize.
So please say I do. Where did I leave my character sheet?
How far away from the farm is he?
Oh, he's approaching the farm. So
Perception.
he's like standing on the road next to the farm.
15.
Okay, you see perhaps one of the more strange sights you've seen. On top of the shoulder of one of the Vati, you see a very small speck that looks kind of familiar. And I'll say with a 15, you recognize this speck as Lily.
So Aslan just goes like, Lily! So he can't yell.
Fair enough. So, Lily, you hear someone yelling your name. But they seem quite far away.
What do my non-elven eyes see?
Alright, you wake up and you see what looks like a glowing torch, perhaps? Though it looks like it's on top of a person's head, quite far away. About 200 feet away.
Everybody wake up. There could be an enemy or a friend or a frenemy. I don't know.
The giant, who is still awake, sort of just conversing with his companion,
I know that
sort
word.
of looks over in that direction and says, "Do you know these people? One is..."
This moment is just running towards Lily.
Okay, if you're running,
Get to her.
I need you to roll a d20.
Oh god.
And yes, this is for the thing that you think. To determine whether or not that's happening.
If he trips.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right, I need Explo to roll the damage for one of his mines.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, they're all fire.
All right, you need to make a dexterity save.
That's good enough.
Hippity hoppity floppity.
Yeah,
So
no
it deals
no
no damage if you
No
save?
damage. Yeah.
Okay, so you hear a familiar click of possibly a mechanical device that you're somewhat familiar with, and as soon as you hear this click, you manage to jump far enough away so that way when the explosion activates, it doesn't harm you. And I'll get you to roll a Tinkerer's check to see if you can determine what that was.
One
So
of my
technically your Tinkerer's tools. It's
one
the
of my
same.
higher skill tools.
Yeah, it seems like someone set up an explosive in the middle of this field that we're currently running through.
So I turned around to the Black Croca and to the Afriti and tell them there might be booby traps on the floor.
They
Ground.
sort of just start looking cautiously, but they don't know what they're looking for. You do. It's sort of like one of those bombs with the stereotypical bombs with the fuse on it, except it's sort of in a mechanism that activates it automatically if it's stepped on.
So I tell them to watch out for odd-looking stones, basically. Well, that's
Okay.
what they could actually see that as odd-looking stones, I guess.
Fair enough.
I call them bouncing daddies.
Oh god, yeah, no, they're the most evil kind of bomb there is.
Bouncing Betty, yeah.
They're
That's
most
pretty
deadly
cruel.
because the high yield. Yeah,
It's not the most deadly, it's the most harming because most people
Yeah.
actually survive, but they get hurt a lot.
However, they start looking for what you instruct them to look for, and you manage to get through the field unharmed.
Did we hear the bomb?
Yeah, the bomb would have made an explosive.
Because
noise.
I'm guessing we assume this is an enemy approaching.
You can. So while he's attempting to explain this to his companions, Lily, you hear the explosion, and everyone else hears the explosion.
Okay, so I look at you, Explo, and I say, should we go out and see what's happening?
How did you... Aren't you at the house? I'm in the barn.
Oh, okay, sure.
Sure.
I'm not staying in the house. It smells too bad.
Technically, there was a corpse.
There's nobody sleeping in it anymore.
Well, that's weird.
Well, I mean, the beds are empty. There's no one there. There might be a stain on it, but...
Yeah, no bodily juices at all on that mattress.
That's what I was indicating the stain was. However, you guys are separate, so you can decide what you want to do.
Well, I'm gonna assume it's an enemy, so I'm gonna wake up from the drawings and start running outside.
Yeah,
All right, you run outside.
Creatures to find out what the threat is and deal with it.
So since I forgot where I put the last landmine, do I have to do a D20 roll? Because I have no idea where it is.
If you're imposing this on yourself, then sure, you can do that.
Just running out with a bunch of bombs in my hand. Where are they?
Sure, go ahead. Yes, unfortunately, I was setting it lower because technically one of the bombs already exploded. So, but you still rolled super low. And you trip over one of the mines, so roll a mine against yourself.
Mine 16 damage. Dexterity 3. So already holding
Yes.
a bomb in my hand. I get thrown away by my own bomb, take 16 damage, and I lose my own bomb, which also takes 12 damage if I fuck up again, and I do 12 more damage.
So it's like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, as he just runs out into the open, into the field, and he's like, "What's going on?" Boom, boom, and he just goes flying. Yeah, and he does the comical falling and then hits the ground. So, you guys can deal with that situation however you wish. You guys can roleplay that and see how that turns out. However, everybody sees that a commotion is happening. So that's all that the NPCs are going to do for now. They expect you guys to protect them. They thought that you had this place on lockdown.
Yes, so I tell my zombies to go find out who's making all the noise and deal with them.
At
Okay.
least now the lost bomb is found, so nobody's going to be able to step on it.
So, you guys see zombies approaching, and since they're NPC controlled, you guys can deal with that how you will, and I'll play the zombies.
So
And I join as well.
So
Okay.
Alison says, "Can you?" I guess if it goes like, "Can you? Well, turn your fire off."
And I'll say that Edo-san, you recognize that he was probably an artificer as he got blown up.
Yeah.
Due to like he had like the multi-lensed glasses on, that sort of thing. So he's asking you if you can turn them off.
They're 3D, so
Oh,
heard
he
Am I-
agreed.
Yeah.
He goes, "Well, my hair is kind of. This is what it is," and he sort of motions to his head, and it's just flames, basically.
Okay. Just asking. And then looking at the artificer with us. So those are your bombs.
What, did I blow myself all the way over to those guys?
You blew yourself up, but he sort of approaches you.
Oh, cool.
So those were your bombs.
My face hurts.
Hold on. Alison just spits in one hand and just then rubs them together. And then I give you a cure wounds. What level can I give him? I'm gonna be nice. Level 2.
Alright, you heal
For
7
12 hit
plus
points.
5. Which,
12
That's
hit
mighty
points.
kind of So my nose is
He
not
healed
broken
the-
anymore.
he healed the damage from one bomb. Because you rolled super high on those ones.
Yeah, I did. Lucky me. Yes, they're my bombs, and no, they can't be turned off. Just don't step on them, and I start walking towards the farm.
Yeah, I just hold him by his shirt and he can just start walking off.
Like holding me up. Up in the air.
Question. No, yeah, I'm just holding you. Before we start walking off, let's just first talk this out. Don't want to have anyone just go smash with my face.
Yes, you see some zombies approaching you, and they're looking like they're going to grapple you.
Where's Tabaki in this?
I'm also following the zombies, so.
Okay, so
I
you're. I'll say that you're about. Yeah, since you technically said that you weren't following them right away, I'll say that you're 2 or 3 movements behind them.
I start screaming to Tabaki, "Hey, call off your whatevers. They're fine. They're good."
Yeah, I'll call them up then.
Okay, so you heard Explo shouting, saying, "Call them off," and then you do so. And then they just sort of walk back to you.
Do any of them hit a mine?
No. They do not.
Aw.
Since you instructed everyone, Tabaki would have told them to be careful of those specific locations. And
Okay.
since they're basically just robots, they remember.
I think it would have been more fun to just do it and not tell anybody.
Yeah. So we asked question that. Do you know that halfling on top of that very tall being? Because I know her.
You mean, and then I can't remember the name.
Lily.
You mean Lily?
The whole time this has been transpiring, can I like have hopped off of him and ran and like tackle hugged him?
Sure. So as soon as you were like on top of that huge thing, you look up and you notice she's not there. And you start looking around, and then suddenly she's just right next to you, and
So I drop him.
On a
Fall
bomb
over.
or not?
no, there's no bomb within range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fall to the floor, and then just hug her and say, "I missed you too, Lily."
I missed you so much. Oh my god, where have you been? I've been thinking about you. I mean, not really, but I've been kind of thinking about you. I mean, I thought about you right now when I saw. I missed you.
I miss you too. Just patting her over the head. Oh yeah. DT is not with me.
What happened to DT? Did he?
No.
DIED?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Just didn't come with me. Like
I'm
literally,
sorry.
he didn't teleport with me.
Well, he's been gone for a little while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he might have died in that time, but
But
at
good
last time you
news
saw
is-
him, he was fine.
Yeah. Good news is he's with my parents. And my parents are alive.
I learned some words in or Aaron. Our air speak. Air talkie talk.
Okay.
I'd rattle off, whatever.
Okay, so I'll get you to roll to see if you say them correctly. So I'll get you to roll 3 history checks.
Ah, my best one.
I think I just said them wrong and insulted someone's mother. I'm sorry.
Can happen.
What did you say? My mother was a saint.
However, you do say, "Can you show me the bathroom?" correctly.
Yeah. That one's a perfect one.
Yeah. However, does Edo-san understand Aura?
No,
Well, then you don't understand what she's saying anyway.
I have no clue what you're saying, but it
It's okay.
sounds
I'm
impressive.
just showing you what I did. I did a thing, and I'm so proud of me.
And I'm so proud of you as well. Now,
I miss you.
can I get up again?
No, I miss you.
I know, but I start losing feeling in my legs because you
Oh.
are wearing your armor, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna get up, and then I want to hear all about your journeys while I sleep.
Yeah.
While I sleep.
Can I see that Giovanni is an artificer?
Yes, you can tell. He has like I described, like the glasses that have the multiple lenses for
I don't think you don't even need to see that. I mean, the gun that's just poking over his shoulder.
Yes, he has one of those as well, but he has like the other hints, like the magnification glasses and things of that nature, just sort of sitting on him.
So I kind of just grab the gun and take off my glasses, start walking towards the barn and mumbling to myself, "This is interesting."
Yeah, technically you two are 2 different class of artificer.
Yeah, no, he's a gunsmith.
Yeah.
So what are you
So-
looking at?
He stole your gun and just
Oi.
started looking
I
at it.
just grabbed your gun and started looking at it with my glasses
Snatch it
on.
back. Don't touch this. You don't want to touch that. You don't
Why?
want to touch that.
Is it dangerous? Because then I will definitely want to touch it.
It is dangerous.
I start
especially-
looking into the barrel because I'm not a gunsmith, so I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, I'm just explaining that. If you touch this and look down, yeah, exactly that, then it could hurt a lot.
Ooh. Me likey.
What you see inside is a metal ball sitting at the end of this long shaft of metal.
So
You
I'm
know what
guessing
would be
ignition at the back, projectile gets shot, and people
Yeah.
die at the other end?
No, people either close by or very far away die.
Ooh. Like it. What kind of bullets do you use?
So I reach into my pouch, just show them those steel ball, these kinds.
Just steel balls?
Steel balls.
Yep, they're just musket balls.
That's not
Oh.
very interesting, is it?
Well, I didn't say that my gun couldn't do anything with them.
Hmm.
As I just flip one of the barrels around because it has like a triple barrel roller, so that one barrel is normal, other is acid, the other is what was it again? Necrotic.
Necrotic. Yes.
Yeah.
So you have
So
like
this
necrotic,
this one
lightning,
is
and fire?
acid. No, I have a normal barrel. I have an acid barrel, and I have a necrotic barrel.
Interesting.
And then, if I just switch this lever and then shoot, then I do lightning damage. Extra to the normal damage.
I'm guessing you and me are gonna go into the barn and totally nerd out rest of the long rest.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you go in there, you see that he is currently working on a blueprint for some sort of shoe. Though you technically don't know what it's supposed to do yet, he hasn't gotten that far yet. So,
we're just going to nerd out, basically.
okay. So, does Edo-san have any blueprints he's working on?
Well,
don't remember.
a few
Alrighty.
blueprints, but
So
they're
if you
very
two are
crude.
going to converse about that, I'll give you a chance to message each other if you wish about what important things he might want to know that you're working on. But I kind of want to get to some of the other stuff, so that way we can move on a little bit more.
Sure.
So, but one thing you do notice, Edo-san, is that the black Aarakocra flies over to one of those large creatures, and they're sort of having a conversation.
Oh, what are those two talking about?
You're not sure they're speaking another language.
Nah, you'll see.
Perhaps.
Then I go to the barn to nerd out with my artificer friend.
Alright. So you can send him any of the things that you're working on currently. Though if you don't tell the DM, then you don't make much progress. So, if you want to let me know about any of the things you're working on, then you can do that in a message later.
Yeah.
So,
Well, things I'm working on is upgrades of my gun and still trying to decipher the blueprints I have.
which blueprints were those? Did I?
The one from the future.
Oh yes. Okay. Sure.
Ooh,
So
gun.
he shows you. Since this is kind of an important story point, I'll get into that. He shows you what looks like a firearm, except it has this weird crystalline ball on the bottom. And he's not sure what the words mean. And he's just sort of looking at it and shows you it. The words don't mean anything to you either.
Does the ball look slightly alike to the orb that Lily is carrying?
Tiny bit, like it's only because it's spherical in nature. Otherwise, it doesn't look anything the same.
Is the blueprint like the size or smaller?
It's slightly smaller, but it has like a scaling on the side, which you can decipher the scaling. The scaling isn't the problem. It's the materials that this thing is made out of. The words, the labeling, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't get the words or the labeling. It doesn't correct with what we're currently talking about.
Well, it's two of us now, so it should be faster to decipher it when we're long resting.
Yeah, that's the problem. I already partially decipher it, but the problem is the words do not exist in our time. They're future words.
Yes, he did determine that that's what they were.
So that's the problem.
We're gonna need a translator for this one, maybe.
No, they're future words.
Yeah.
So words that are not made yet.
Translator that can see into the future. Oh, no.
Technically, there are a few ways that you can decipher it. However, you don't have access to any of those at
Yet.
the moment. Such as the spell Comprehend Languages would automatically translate it for you no matter what it was.
So where does one message for the other blueprints while you're moving on with the other stuff?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Where?
Do you have Discord, by the way?
I have Discord.
Okay, just hold on 1 sec.
Alright, so you guys can figure that out. Do the other of you two want to do anything during this time?
No.
Or just go back to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Revan.
Here you go, a link to the Discord.
Okay. That works.
Fair enough. So, you guys awaken in the morning a little bit later than you were expecting due to the interruption partway through. And unfortunately, it's dark, but there's still a sourceless light everywhere. So it's like dim light. Due to the time that you guys went to sleep.
Okay.
So there's like a dim light all around. Because the sourceless light, quote unquote, can still shine during the night over the city, so you can still see things from a certain direction, but it's not as dark as it normally would be at nighttime. So you guys are awake.
I'm still tired. Can I go back to sleep?
Who are you asking this to?
Whoever's around.
Alright, the giant creature that you were sleeping on his shoulder carefully made sure that you were still resting on his shoulder when he laid down to go to sleep, eventually. And he goes, "Is it really time to go already? Should have just went when we were energized instead of going to sleep."
It's a smart idea. I had no spells except one, and then we would die, and then that would be sad.
Alright.
I know.
He sort of shakes the ground a little bit. It sounds like a mini earthquake as he's moving his body around, trying to get up. And he makes sure that you don't fall off his shoulder as he's adjusting his position from a laying down position to a sitting up position.
Thank you for being my hero.
Well, for one so small as you, I assume it's not hard.
I think you're gonna be one of my best friends.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. I look forward all the time.
He just sort of glances at you. And then he just gets up. He starts waking the other giant.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is also awake. If you guys want to meet up, you can do so.
So yeah, I'll wake up and I'll
Yes,
look
also-
around and see if I'm ready.
Yeah, Tabaki, if you wish to keep your undead servants,
Yes, I
then-
need to reanimate them. So
Yes.
I will not do the Arcocra because I will be fine with the Slotty.
okay. So the Aarakocra inevitably just crumbles into
Yeah, I
dust.
just have it. I just have him walk into some closet or something before I finished his period, so he cleans himself up.
So he crumbles into dust, which is what happens when you reanimate something and then choose not to reanimate it anymore. So you cannot reanimate him again.
Yeah.
Just crumbles into dust and becomes nothing. So, the Slotty are back to the amount of health that they were at when you animated them. So, yes, now, do you want to meet up with the rest of the group after you do this?
Yeah.
Alright. Explo, you and Arosan are sort of like head down on a table in this barn, sort of drooling a little bit on your blueprints as you awaken, both of you.
Where is everybody? Is everybody already on the move?
I'm
They're
waiting
lost.
for you guys.
Waiting
They're
for us?
they're gathering in a group outside of the barn.
Well, let's go. How far did we get on our blueprints?
All right. I actually forgot about that. I'll get you to roll a Tinker Tools check.
We're helping each other, so how does that work?
I'll
You
say
rolled with
that
advantage.
yeah, you can roll with advantage.
Ooh. Hello, advantage.
How high is your tinkering tools check?
13.
Okay, that's fair enough.
32.
All right. Yeah, you managed to get the blueprints down, and I'll allow you to determine what materials they're made out of.
Well, we don't really have too much to work with. So...
Yes, but you can decide what materials you would want to make this out of.
Well, one thing I have a little bit. Okay, Lani is gone. One thing I have a lot of is platinum. So I'm thinking melting down platinum coins to make the boots.
You can definitely do that. However, you haven't started making them yet.
No.
This is just for the plans. So you have some pretty good plans sketched out. Having someone to bounce ideas off of is extremely helpful in this situation. Especially someone who actually knows what they're doing. Which is why you rolled so high, is what I'm saying.
Your turn. Let's see if
Well,
we
yeah,
got farther on the. Was it semi or full?
Semi.
Semi.
Yeah, I'm trying to upgrade my gun so that it can go semi-automatic.
I'm wondering
Okay.
how it kind of looks. Do you have like a magazine already, or do you have to put in the bullets one by one?
I have to put in the bullets one by one, so pull
So
back,
it's
put
kind of
in,
like bolt
close.
action.
Yes.
It's virtually bolt action. He basically he shoots, then he tips the gun forward, puts a musket ball in, and then he can tip it forward due to a claw mechanism that grabs the musket ball at the end, and then when he fires, it lets go and then makes an explosion.
Okay,
So
well,
he can quickly reload it for a musket firing gun, but it's still not as fast as he wants it to be.
It's gonna have to get pretty rebuilt. You're gonna have to make
Yeah.
a magazine, but the good thing is that you don't have to make like three different magazines for each damn barrel because you can just turn the barrel.
Yeah,
And
turn the
this is-
barrel and applies the effect.
Yes. So I'll give you one of two choices before you roll. Each one has a different DC, so I'll just warn you about that. One, you can try to retrofit your current weapon, which means adding a magazine, trying to refigure how the barrels turn and everything to accommodate a magazine, things of that nature. or you can just build a new one.
Well, I'm first going to build like a prototype firing mechanism with like a magazine onto it, and then test that out to see how that works. So
Okay.
the ball won't be fired off. No, it will. For this iteration of the test, it will just be pushed out.
Okay. So you can give that a go. Roll a
So-
Tinker's check with advantage.
Do you have any scrap metal on you?
Oh yes, I have enough scrap metal because this is the thing about the artificer, the gunsmith artificer. It says I can make my ammunition, but it doesn't say how many I get. It doesn't say what I use for it. I just make it.
Yes. That's true. So he just has a magical supply of
Pouch.
scrap,
Yeah.
basically. But
So,
it's
yeah.
just
I'm
regular
getting disconnected
steel.
somehow.
It's not anything special. It's just regular steel.
Yeah. So the special barrels are also of this steel, but I enchanted them and make them more special so that they have the special properties.
Yes. So again, you can roll a Tinker check at advantage.
Nat 20.
Alright,
Oh
so-
yeah.
Yeah, you can make this firing mechanism work. The magazine, though, you'll have to make special magazines for it, and you'll have to, after you run out of ammunition in a magazine, you'll have to store it away
Get a new
and
one.
then refill it later.
What if can we like make it like the magazines for the M14?
Yes, you can make it similar. But like I said, these things are custom made and don't really exist. So it's not like he can go to a store and buy another magazine. He has to keep the magazine. So if, say, something happens and it causes his magazine to fall and go away, he'd have to make another one.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about if the weight is gonna have anything to say about it.
Yeah, because steel balls are a lot heavier than our small bullets.
Yeah, but that is why they made that type of magazine for the M14 because they could like just store bullets in it. When they were in a fight, that was so cheap and easy to make that I just had to put the bullets inside the gun and throw it away, and then go into the fight.
Yeah, so I'm just basically building a large magazine for my boots. So I had a firing mechanism, so now we're trying to figure out a good magazine and figure out which iteration is good. So I'm basically prototyping everything at the moment.
Okay, so I'll say that you find the optimal prototype due to your role. So you can make it look however you want.
So how much, ammo would you allow me to have in it?
I'd say that since it's just a semi, rather than a full auto or anything like that, it's just like a downward clip that has maybe 5 bullets in it. Because this
Okay,
is really early. This is before like M16s and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So it doesn't carry that many bullets.
Yeah, so 5. I'd say.
And once it runs out of bullets, you'll have to eject the cartridge and put another one in.
Yeah, I figure as much. So
you might want to make a couple of them, because this gun, you will have to have them preloaded into the cartridge.
So I don't know if it's the gun just need.
Whereas the gun that you have now, you can just load bullets into it infinitely. But it's slower firing, so you'll have to determine how many magazines you want to have.
I don't know what the gun is called, but there's a gun that is like has the ammo case on top of it.
Yes, you can do that.
but the mine is just slightly off to the side, so more on a 45-degree angle, you could say.
Yes, and it would have to go onto the part that does not turn. Otherwise, it would turn and then make the thing useless.
Yeah, so it basically is still very basic magazine, so it just uses gravity to drop one ball in, and then once one ball in, it stops the rest, and then fires one out. Other ball takes place and keeps going like that.
Yeah, you have a perfect prototype. However, like I said, if you're going to attempt to amalgamate it into your current one, it's a different DC than just making a new gun.
Yeah.
And like I said, you have to have the enough clips basically for what you want to do, and then you have to reload them once per long rest. You get to reload them automatically.
Okay. Yeah. So for now, Arson's just basically prototyping most of today, and after he's done with that, then he will start making plans to see if he will make a new gun or try and implement it into his current gun.
Are we done yet?
Yes.
It's their let them have their turn.
Yes. So, do you guys want to just join the rest of the group?
Hell yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
we join the rest of the group. What are we doing?
Fucking shit up. Let's go.
We follow the will of the blood.
Yes.
Apparently. So, you guys are
Heading
going
to the dungeon, wherever that might be.
the palace?
The dungeon.
Well,
Under
yes. The dungeon is in the palace. So,
Yeah,
yes, it's
so we
the
headed
same
to
place. It's in the lower part of the palace. Either way, as you approach, I'll say you get within 500 feet when suddenly the palace, there's noises coming from it, like screeching noises and things of that nature. There is an alarm still blaring. It was blaring since the attack first happened. So it's been blaring for over 8 hours.
So I tell the giants that they could stay here and deal with any reinforcements while we go in and find a dungeon. I assume it's like a building or some sort.
He goes, all right. Feels weird being delegated to guard duty, but we'll deal with it. As he reaches his hand up to lower you down onto the ground, because it was faster to ride them.
Yeah.
The more you know.
So you guys are put on the ground, and they're just sort of standing outside. And one of them says before you go, in Giant, so only one of you understands Giant. Before you go, look for the orb, please. It would be much
I will.
appreciated. It would be maybe 2 or 3 times as tall as you are. Sort of sitting in a pedestal, but if it was removed, it would be 2 or 3 times as tall as you are.
I'll be on the lookout.
He nods. And they start looking out, seeing if there's anything weird happening. And you begin approaching, and you see that on the top of the palace, a bunch of those Aarakocra just fly out and head towards the giants as you guys are approaching.
So I assume we just leave those to the giants and go inside?
They also have their Aarakocra that you managed to free, helping them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask Aro-san, do you wish to bring the black Aarakocra with you? And do you wish to bring the Afridi with you?
Yeah, ask them if they want to go on, well, I think one last mission with me.
the black Aarakocra seems more wanting to stay with his brethren outside the castle. The Afridi is willing to join you.
So I let Croker be with his brethren and asked if he's really sure.
He goes, Osmish is in there, of course.
Well, let's get him back then.
He just sort of stabs his large greatsword into the ground and starts following you.
And off we go.
Alright, so you guys approach the entrance of the palace. And you see what looks like it's got doors which are super big, probably big enough for one of those creatures, the Vati, to enter. Though they would probably have to stoop down a little bit in order to get in this building. You're not sure why they would make a building like this, but especially if it's meant for them. But not in for questioning it at the moment. And but the doors are super large. But you can see that there's sort of like a cut out door that's for smaller people. So you could probably just open the smaller door than the larger door. There's a staircase consisting of probably 50 stairs leading up to the entrance. The Vati could probably just take one step and get to the top, but for you it's a small climb to get to the top. However, you notice that there are 2 guards standing on either side of the door. They're very large, and they appear to be standing motionless. And they're covered in shadow.
Okay.
They are considered large creatures.
Which side is the door on that we're going through? A small door.
The small door is on the same side as the bigger door. It's just cut into the bigger door.
Okay, but which one is closer to that one? Of the creatures, left or right?
They're both equidistant.
Okay.
They're standing on either side of the door, the larger door. And they appear to be green-skinned. No, wait, they're black. They're covered in shadow. That's right. And they have wings on their backs. They seem to be holding pitchforks, and they're just sort of standing there motionless, not moving. They're not even looking at you. Their eyes don't appear to even be open.
Okay, sure.
Oh, they're sleeping.
Freaky, go in.
All right, so who's going first?
The Freaky.
Okay,
The
you
freaky?
can try to get him to go first if you wish. Though you will need to persuade him to go first. It won't be hard, but you still need to persuade him.
I will give him covering fire if needed.
All right, roll a persuasion check there, Edo-san, since you're offering to give him covering fire.
Is it persuasion? Yes, it's persuasion, not that I accidentally click my performance. Nope, that's a 7.
Well, his DC was a 5. He's a pretty war-hungry guy. It's not hard to persuade him. So he just starts running up the stairs.
I follow behind him.
For glory!
Yeah, he doesn't say anything yet.
Oh. Well, I guess I follow.
He gets about halfway up the stairs. So is everybody following him?
I'm following
I
him.
am.
I get bored when I'm left alone for a long period of time, and that's not smart.
No, that's not that. Yeah, it's same thing with Erosan.
All right,
Stuff
so
starts happening.
Yes.
he's about 10 feet in front of everybody, I'll say. And he gets up about halfway up the stairs. you see the eyes of the large creatures open, and they sort of just glance over at you guys going up the steps. They don't do anything yet.
So they're already seen us.
They're looking at you.
I grab.
Excuse me, we're just looking for the restrooms. What happens?
They just okay.
Can I say that in how do you say Aron?
Yeah, you can try.
Yeah.
All right.
We're both
What do you want me to
screaming
roll?
at the same time, but I'm doing
No, wait.
the comment.
This is the one that you learned. So yes, you say that perfectly.
Cool.
All
High
right.
five.
They just continue looking at you, but they're perfectly tracking your movements as you're going up the steps.
Yeah, then we'll just go in then. If they don't
Alright.
do anything about it.
You walk towards the door. They both just sort of whip their pitchfork-looking weapons towards the small door that you guys are attempting to enter,
Mhm.
and completely block it with one of the prongs.
So let's go
Okay.
in the big door then.
And
I can make a hole.
Instead of that, I use my blood puppet and I make one of them hit the other.
You're
So
going to
they
make
need to
one
make
blood
a-
puppet hit the other blood puppet?
Yes, one of the creatures, I mean.
Oh, you're going to control one of the creatures to
Yeah, so
try to
that's
hit
a
the other one.
con save.
Okay, so it is a Constitution save.
How big are these things?
They're considered large.
Yeah, so I can do one size larger, so huge. Anything that's not gargantuan, I can control if it does blood.
All right.
Even when covered in darkness?
Yeah, as long as it
Technically,
has
they
blood.
still have blood. So yes, he can control
Well, too bad, because this is a statue covered in darkness.
them.
Definitely.
They rolled a 12.
So one of them moves his distance to the other one and hits him with his weapon.
Okay. You see it just sort of lift up the weapon. The other one just sort of looks at it confused, and it just sort of walks over and just stabs into him, and the other one just sort of knocks back a little bit. The doors are now available to you to go through, but you're not sure for how long.
We'll be
Well,
able
let's
to
just
just rush
go.
through it fast.
Is the
Alright.
door even open?
Yeah, it's unlocked.
That's
And
too
it
bad.
looks like a regular door that was built into the larger door.
Yeah, so we just run in there, all of us.
Yeah, we just rush in there. I do check for the free if he can get with us. That he isn't,
Yeah, technically he
bothered
was ahead of you
by
guys.
anyone.
So, what were you trying to do?
Just
Sorry?
checking that he can make it safely. Well, that he can come with us safely.
Oh, he can bend down to fit in the door.
Okay. Well, not that he
Oh.
gets all of a sudden grabbed or anything.
Yeah,
Where's
he
our huge
He's before
giant?
you, so he's...
yeah, he was technically ahead of you, which is what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So, yeah, he gets in there first. You told him to go first, so he gets safe first.
Yeah, and then me, and then whoever goes next, and then we will make it there, hopefully.
Mhm.
Yes, everyone makes it through the door. They use their movements while the other ones are distracted trying to figure out what was happening. So you guys get in the door, and you hear on the other side of the door, they're trying to get through the door.
I use my thief tools to lock the lock.
Alright,
I
roll
think
a
it's
thieves
already
tools
locked.
check.
Hmm?
No, it wasn't locked. How would we get through?
We just got through it. It's not locked.
Yeah, but these
Or
guys
is
are
the key
giant.
in the door on the inside?
They're technically larger than the door, so they're trying to get into the door.
Is the key in the door on the inside, or is it just
No,
the keyhole?
they didn't just leave the key next to the door, unfortunately.
Well, it could happen. Is there a doormat with the key under it, for instance?
No. there
Okay,
is not.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where you're looking, but we are this small and they are this large. We went to this kind of tiny door and they're trying to get to another way in.
They're
Yeah, well,
large.
I'm gonna-
They're the same size. as
30
the
for
key.
locking the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like maybe 10 feet tall, whereas the door that you guys went through was like 5 feet tall, and the Afridi is about 7, so he could duck down to get in. But they're double the size of the door, so they're gonna have to try to get in perhaps a different way. But either way,
Well, the door is locked now, so at least that'll keep them
yes.
a bit more occupied.
What you did, instead of just locking the door, you stuck your thieves' tools in and you broke the lock. So the lock is broken. Even if they have the key, they can't unlock the door. They would have to use thieves' tools and get as high as you rolled in order to open the door.
Good luck.
Wow.
That would be the only way they can open the door.
Natural 30.
Yeah. So, yeah, the doorknob is like, if they tried to turn the knob, it would count as being locked, and if they tried to key, it would still remain locked because the lock is broken. So, they can either break the door or use these tools as high as you rolled to unlock the lock.
So, I also ask Explo, how big of a bomb can you make?
Pretty damn big. But only one.
Yeah. Yeah, but how big is that?
I'm not gonna use that here. But if you want me to make some kind of mine, if they get through the door, I can fix that.
Yeah, because it needs to be really big.
Well, I don't think anything I have will be able to like one-shot them, but I can make a flashbang trap. So if they open the door, they get knocked back 10 feet if they don't get the DC right.
How about we make it a flashbang with like shrapnel?
Sure.
He
I
could
make
do
a-
that with 2 charges. Of
I
the
use
bomb.
2 charges and I use a bunch of the platina as
No,
shrapnel.
you don't use platina for shrapnel. You use my scrap metal.
Okay. So it's basically a thunderstone with shrapnel around it.
Yep.
Okay. And I'll say that, based on how you were describing it, I'll say that it's a wire trap. So if they open the door, like if the door comes through, it hits the wire, activating the trap.
Boom.
Yeah. So it's one of those. So the door is now trapped.
Well, let's keep on moving then.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, me and Freety have been running up the stairs.
All right. So I'll describe the area that you're in, so you can choose where you want to go. There are 2 doors, one to your left, one to your right. There's that are your size, and then there's 2 more doors that are gigantic in size. One to the left and one to the right.
Where is actually the big giants? Did they stay back at the farm or did they go somewhere else?
They're with you. They brought you here.
They're outside fighting.
Yeah, they're outside, keeping everything safe outside.
Okay.
Yeah, so the 2 larger ones, you can easily see that the one on the left goes down, and the one on the left goes up, or the right. Sorry, I said left twice.
Well,
First, I'll describe the rest of the room. There's currently a staircase in front of you that leads to another large door, and it has the small door in it as well.
Okay. To left.
well, we are looking for a dungeon, so I'm guessing down.
It's a decent guess. Sometimes they keep their dungeons at the top of the building, but
No.
Not really.
You never know, it can go up as well.
Do you want to clear everything first and then we go down?
Down we go.
Okay.
yeah,
Clear?
he's already running down.
Okay. I guess we're following.
Well, no time to waste.
There's one hallway that's your size, and then there's one hallway that's giant size. So you can choose either one.
I think we're gonna go with our size.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't want to run into a giant inside.
We
Fair
already
enough.
did.
Okay, so you guys go down this staircase, and it's a spiral staircase, so it just goes down like this for a little while. And there's a floor that it stops on, but there's also the staircase continues downward. Do you wish to go down this hallway? It's
This
got a door in
floor, does
front
it
of
look
it.
like a dungeon?
There's a door in front of it, so you can't see what's inside.
Does it have like a sign dungeon on the door?
Unfortunately, the door is not labeled.
Then we go
But it
back.
has what it does have is one of those slide things that go across, so that way the person on the other side can see who's on the other side of the door.
Can we use that?
We'll open it.
You can attempt to, but the thing that you grab to slide over is on the other side of the door. So you can try to like put your fingers on it and slide it over.
Can I use
if you
my
want.
thieves' tools to do it?
I was
Yes,
thinking my
that
chair,
would
but
aid you
whatever.
in doing it.
I will try to open the slidey thingy with my thieves' tools.
Okay.
Sure.
You
20.
manage to pry it open, and you look in. It looks like a dungeon area.
Guys, there's a dungeon, but no dragons. Should we keep moving?
You
Do you
never
wanna
know.
look
Don't
in
say
the
it too
dungeon a
loud.
little more? Right?
Where-
It could be a little dragon.
Should be a small cutie one.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah,
a
of
pseudo
course.
dragon.
You're looking for
It could also be an elder dragon. Just
Pseudo
one
dragons
question:
are
is
awesome.
everybody a level 9 or 10?
9.
Okay. Good. Is the dungeon door open?
Do you try to open it?
Yeah.
All right. It appears to be locked.
Well, that's too bad. Now
Well,
the
it's
problem is,
locked.
should I just open it with my thieves' tools, or should I try showing off to my new friend?
Too late. I'm showing off. I'm gonna blow it open.
Aw. The next one's mine.
Fine. We can do it together.
Okay, so what do you want to do? How do you want to open this door? What are you doing specifically?
Giovanni, this door is yours. The next door is mine. We can do
No,
it.
say we do it together. What was your plan?
Okay, I use my one bomb charge, and what type of material is the door made of?
The door is made of wood with metal. Like the slide for the lock is metal, and the handle for the door is
Yeah, so
metal.
it's like a
So I take it.
strengthened wooden door.
So I take it. Take its bomb charge, then make it so that it fits into the lock and say, "Okay, let's go off now."
I didn't make my bomb charge into anything.
No, I can adjust it. I have my own tools to adjust it so that it can fit into the lock.
And then it
Do
goes
you
boom.
wish to put it in the lock? Is the question.
Yes. Yes, I
Sure.
do.
Okay, so what kind of bomb did you make him? Before you
So-
knew that he was going to put it
He
in.
kind of took it before I got to make anything.
Well, what kind of bomb is it?
The problem now, Giovanni, is that the door was made of wood, so I would have made it fire damage. If I knew you were going to put it into the lock, I would have made acid, so it is fire. 'Cause
That's
if
not
I
That's not the problem. If the heat it gets enough, it can melt the lock.
yeah, but the acid does that anyways. So do I roll damage?
Yes.
You do, my friend.
That's 6 damage, so the lock is a little bit hurt.
Alright, so here's what happens. It blows up, and it goes around the lock and starts lighting the door on fire.
Okay, so it kind of worked anyways. Can I knock on it and make it crumble?
Alright,
Or-
you knock on it, and the wooden part crumbles, but there's... Underneath the wood is a metal mesh that was put underneath. So it looks like a cage door now.
Should have gone with the thief's tools. Well, making the one that I used to make, like a bomb on the door of acid.
Okay.
In the lock.
Melted away.
In the lock. That's the weakest part now.
Okay,
With my
in the
feet.
lock. 16 acid damage to the lock.
Okay, this time it just blows the door open, and the door just sort of lays on the ground, dissolving.
Knock, knock, motherfucker.
No, motherfucker.
Now you notice that on the other side of the door, since you guys didn't really look through the slide thing, you just sort of opened it and saw that it was a dungeon you didn't really examine. You see a person on the other side of this door, and he stands up,
Shadow.
covered in shadow, and he gets his weapon ready. He noticed the first explosion, but he didn't have a chance to do anything before you blew up the metal part of the door.
I get into my musket firing stance, just taking a knee and then boom.
All right.
Ooh, do a 360 no scope.
It's initiative time.
No,
Unfortunately.
no 360 no scopes for you.
Sorry?
Just saying, click your token first.
Like,
And I'll
okay.
remove.
I fight my token.
Do I click the token in the turn order or just the token in the...
The token in the map.
Okay. I have 1 initiative, so this is gonna go bad. Well, 11. That's not too bad.
Alright, so Lily forgot to do what you just said.
I thought I did. I did it earlier.
So I'm just gonna do it. No big deal.
Oh, look, we got the same initiative order.
Alright.
Wait, you have a +1, so I'm going first since I have a 20. Well,
technically it's for you guys to decide, but yeah.
Alright. And this dude is gonna roll his initiative. He's like, I'm a dude, so he gets 4. Great. I can hear myself.
And now 21.
Alright, so, as is obvious, he saw that you blew open the door and you didn't notice him. So, he just walks over with his large sword, and he just goes at the person who's in front of him, which is X-Flow, because he was blowing up the door. So,
at least we had fun doing it.
So 1, 2,
hello,
3, as he just swings his sword.
So obviously the nat 20 hits, the 16 just hits, and the 15 misses.
It's 22. It's +7.
What?
It's +7.
So the lowest one is
fuck!
22.
Everything hits.
Oh, great!
I'm going down. I'm going timbers.
Well, you have a paladin and a cleric, so
You have 2 healers. You should be fine.
And I have hit dice, and I have healing drug that kind of sucks.
Okay, so that's for the second one. That's for the third one. Now he gets to double his dice. All right. So they didn't want anyone getting in this jail. So,
well, I'm probably down.
19 plus 18 plus 34.
Are you up?
Fuck! I fucked it up. 34. Yeah, that's 71 damage to my 58. I get knocked out.
Wait, did you do it right?
I have
I'll
58.
add that up to make sure.
I think I did it right.
That's 71.
Plus 19 plus 34 equals 71. I'm down, guys. Nighty-night.
Yes, it does. So he is unconscious immediately as this guy just walks forward and goes with his sword. He just spun it around and
Too
hit him
busy
3
standing
times.
laughing with whatever Giovanni's name is from the door we just
Elson.
exploded.
Yeah, Erosan, you just witness as he just gets carved.
Eep.
Owie!
All
The
right.
last thing I say
So-
before I go unconscious, that's gonna need more than a band-aid.
Okay, so that's the enemy's turn. Lily, you just watch as your new companion just got carved.
The death.
Yeah. Good
He got
time.
carved like a Thanksgiving turkey. He's just on the floor bleeding.
All right.
If you want him back to life, you just give him 1 hit point, then he's back to life, you know.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you need to use a turn on it.
How far away from me is he?
You are 2 stairs up from him, so
Okay,
like
so 10 feet?
10 feet away from him.
Like max 10 feet? Okay. Heal! And I give him lay on hands for 1 point.
Okay. You have 1 hit point.
Just if just read about the fadeaway, my fadeaway.
Uh-huh.
If you hit me once, can I use it? I'm just wondering because it doesn't say. It just says when you take damage, you can use a reaction to magically become invisible. So if
Okay.
you hit me with the first one, and I faded away, I'm not gonna do it now because I didn't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, it's your reaction is whenever you get hit, so the first time you get hit.
Okay, so now I know that.
Okay, so you still go unconscious, I suppose.
Yeah. No, I have 1 hit point now.
Yes, and then you gain 1 hit point.
Yeah.
So
But
you have 1 hit point.
You're fed away, so you still have it.
Lily is my savior.
You're welcome.
I was just suggesting it, not actually doing that.
However, so you gave him 1 hit point.
Mhm.
Anything else you want to do on your turn? Lay on hands,
Yeah.
I think, is an action. So
Yeah, that's what I was double checking.
Don't just fight. I'll get behind you guys and bomb the bastards. It's just 1.
So my apologies. I thought it was a bonus action. It's an action. I would have given him more had I realized.
okay,
That's
sure,
Can I 86 part of that and give him like 30 hit points?
sure, I'll allow that.
All right, sir, you have 30.
Ooh, thank you.
I don't know why I thought it was a bonus action. Anywho,
But you still have a bonus
action.
action.
So it's
Right.
just like respawning now. I got mauled down and there's like, I'm back.
Right. You are healed, my son.
My child.
Do you have a bonus action you wish to use?
I am. That's an action too. Crap. No, I'm good for right now.
All right. So you are standing next to him.
Right.
Edo-san.
Can I get in front of him to complete my movement?
Yes, since he is prone, you can technically stand in his space.
Okay. Cool. Doing it.
So I turned my barrel to necrotic.
Just so you know, he is within 5 feet of you. So he's in melee range.
I don't suppose you have a shotgun.
No. No,
Well,
I
that's
don't.
definitely something we're gonna make. Double barrel shotgun for close range combat.
Yes,
sword at
however,
the
in
end.
this instance, if he chooses to move away, it will be an opportunity attack.
I'm gonna risk it and do that.
Okay. He is going to roll his...
Fuck, that's
Wait. Hold on a moment. Did he move after he struck him down?
No, he just stood in the doorway. And
Then
prevented
I'm
entry.
not close enough to be within 5
Yes,
feet.
you are. You were right next to the door because you were helping him. So at a diagonal, you're within 5 feet of him.
Yeah, that's true then.
So you move.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As soon as you take your first step, he is going to swing at you.
Nope.
With 11. So he goes again. He just windmilling his arm, basically. And he just goes, and you manage to dodge out of the way.
Max distance that I can move from him.
Okay, you can only move 15 feet away from him because it's a spiral staircase. Otherwise, he'll be behind a wall.
Okay. And then, since my barrel is now necrotic, and I can add my, what was it called again? Bugger. I need to look it up. Yeah, Thundermonger ability.
Yes.
To
just so
regular bullets damage.
Preben is aware, since you procced his opportunity attack, he no longer has a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So he can move away for free now because you did that.
You're welcome. And since I can stack those damages together, and then I add sharpshooter to the mix to just make the fun more fun.
Alright, roll your attack. See if you hit him. Yeah, 27. He's decently armored, but no one is that armored.
But not that good. Boom shakalaka.
No one is 27 armored. It just doesn't happen. Unless if they're god creatures. Alright. So he has 35 damage.
What the hell?
Boom shakalaka. That's sharpshooter for you.
So you shoot, and that happens.
And then I move back.
Alright, you can move further down the stairway, but you'll be behind a wall and you can't see the action until you move back.
Yeah, I can hear him move if he gets closer, just to be safe.
Yes, you can hear what's happening, but you can't see, is what I'm saying. You're further down the stairway and there's a wall, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, Edosan ran behind a wall, is the last you see of him. So it is now Explo's turn.
Ooh.
And I did remind you that you can move away for free now, because he procced his reaction.
I am definitely moving away for free, but as I'm doing that, I am turning my hand down in my satchel, and this is not going to hurt you, Lonnie, at all. It might just knock you prone. Because everything I have has area damage. So as I'm running away, I'm throwing a flashbang straight in his face.
Well, throw it behind him so that it misses Lonnie, you know?
You can attempt to throw behind him if you wish.
I'm gonna do that.
Alright. Yeah, he's standing in the way, so I'm gonna get you to roll an attack. See if you hit his AC, because if you miss, then it will go past him.
So what do you want? Athletics, acrobatics?
Just roll an attack for one of your bombs. Doesn't matter which one, because I'm pretty sure they're all the same.
If it has an attack range, it is.
Yeah, that has an attack range. So I think I put bomb on one of yours. As one of the...
that's not it.
And none of them has an attack. That's the...
I gave him one that has an attack.
Yeah,
this one?
Dex,
yes.
Bomb satchel bomb?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you miss him. So it goes past him. So, you manage to not affect Lily in the radius.
The problem now is that he might fly straight into Lily's face.
Yes, that's true. But he needs to roll a...
Dexterity.
Cons or Dex? Okay, Dex.
I think it's a Dex.
No, for the flash bomb.
Constitution saving.
Okay, Constitution. Those are two different numbers. So thank you for telling me the right one. Alright, he rolled a 14.
He flies 10 feet in the direction and gets knocked prone.
Okay, so Lily, I'm gonna get you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Because you have an enemy flying into you.
Unfortunately, he is much bigger than that, and he flies into you, knocking you prone, not dealing any damage, however, but then he flies past you and collides into the stairway. Now, Explo,
Oh,
you
shit.
can move, if you wish.
Well, I was already moving, so I think I was along with Tabaki somewhere.
Okay, so Tabaki, he is currently standing next to you.
So yeah, you're probably still being melee with him then.
No, the stairs are 10 feet across, so he can move into a different square.
Yeah, okay.
Is he within melee of Giovanni?
Oh,
No.
please, no.
Okay,
No.
thank God.
He went down the stairs and behind a wall.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he take any damage for knocking his face into a stairway?
No. Only if the attack caused damage, then yes, but unfortunately, that attack does not cause damage.
Does not.
So unless if he like fell off a cliff, then he would take fall damage if he did, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So it is now Tabaki's
Is
turn.
this a humanoid?
Sorry?
Is this a humanoid?
He has a head and 2 arms and legs and a torso, like a human would. So you can take from that what you will. You haven't looked at him long enough to
Can I
determine.
make a check to see if he would be a
Sure.
humanoid?
You
Inside
can make a nature check.
nature. 15.
With a 15, he looks like a humanoid of some sort.
Okay.
Though his head looks a little weird, but
I'm gonna
he's
start
probably-
squeezing his blood. So he needs to make a wisdom save.
okay, wisdom. You hit his weak point.
And
Great.
he's paralyzed, and I'm gonna call for all my puppets to start beating him mercilessly.
Okay, and luckily there is enough room for them to walk around you.
The first one is a 13 to hit.
13 doesn't hit.
The second one's a crit. The third one is also a crit because he's paralyzed.
Yes, and he has less than 20 AC.
No, that's not right because it's auto crit. So it shouldn't be those. It should be like this. Yeah, 11 and 21.
An 11 and a 21, you
Yeah.
said?
That's a lot of damage. I hope.
Alright. He's still up, but he's not looking too good.
And that's my turn.
Alright. And I assume you're back a ways.
No, I'm standing in melee with him, having my spear ready.
Okay. Alright, so then he has to decide who he wants to hit, because there are multiple people in his melee range. Yes, he is. I forgot about that. So, does he get to roll against it again?
Yeah, at the end of his turn, wisdom. So he's paralyzed.
Yeah, you hit his weak point.
That's too
He's
bad.
not a wise person. Alright. So,
I feel so sorry for him.
And immediate attacks have advantage and auto crit.
Oh.
there we go. I got it in the right spot now. It is Lily's turn.
Alright, so how close am I to everything else? Because explosions happened and stuff.
He's less than 10 feet away from you. Maybe like 9 or 8.
He is 5 feet, because he flew over you and your space is 5 feet, and then he landed in the next 5-foot space.
Okay. How big is he?
He is, he's considered a medium creature.
Perfect. All right. And anyone else?
And you
Wait, is he on the ground or where is he?
He's on the ground and he's
I mean,
paralyzed. So you have advantage and you crit with everything.
Perfect. I was just verifying everything. Walk.
Yeah, because he was prone and he didn't get a chance to have his turn, and then he was paralyzed. So
Walk.
he is currently paralyzed on the ground. You don't need to walk to him. He is right in melee
that's
range
right.
with you.
10 feet from where he was.
Yeah.
Paralyzed means I have advantage or all hits count. I don't remember. Or
You
all
have
hits are
advantage. You still have to hit his armor class with advantage, but if you hit, it's a crit automatically.
What if she gets a crit on top of the crit?
It's still just a crit.
Yeah, it's just a crit.
So it's not a double
18
crit?
hits him.
Cool.
His armor class is 18.
Ooh.
Cool. And how many attacks do I have? I have 2 attacks. Okay. I'm going to...
Yeah, it's an auto crit, so
Right.
you double your dice.
So that's another 7 if you double dice.
Cool. Yeah, I'll double it. That sounds fair. So 20 for that attack. I'm going to
To double attack, just click the word battle X plus 2.
I mean,
I
it
was
is
gonna-
paralyzed. You might not have to smite. It's up to you.
Can I just double the damage? I mean, not double the damage. I mean, just double the die roll. So it's 7
Yeah,
more.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But
Or
you have
whatever
to
it
roll the hit.
Yes, you can double what is on the dice. It is
My
one of
apologies.
the. You can double what is on the dice that you roll, or
Mm.
you can roll 2 of the same dice, or double the dice, like I said.
Yeah, double the dice sounds better. So 20. I'm going to use I'm going to smite him.
That's
Living
also
daylight.
dice.
Huh?
That's also double dice. So
Yes. As a level, I'm gonna keep it as a level 1.
yeah, he is pretty fucked anyways. So
Oh, he
Wow.
is obliterated.
I got really lucky.
There's nothing left.
He appears to be still struggling against his restraint.
Whack
And then
again.
Still
one
up.
more.
That's fine. I can attempt to attack him again.
Yeah, you crit.
A crit on a
one.
crit.
Double
Make-
crits.
Roll for
So
the
14 plus 1, which is
15.
15. Yeah, after that strike, he goes down.
Cool.
You don't need to smite him.
I did a
'Cause
thing.
technically, you can choose to smite after you see the results of the damage. So, he goes down.
Nice.
And the next one is how far away from me?
There is no one else.
I thought there were 3. We got them already. Okay.
There were not 3. There was just one guy on the other side of the fence.
He just done 3 attacks.
I have.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why I got 3. Bad hearing. All right.
Yeah, he did 3 attacks.
All right. I did a thing. Yay.
So we
Right.
go to the dungeon and look for fire people. The fire
Alright.
nation.
Yes, the Fire Nation.
I'm gonna heal myself. Whoa! Okay. I'm not gonna complain about that.
Yeah, your healing rolls 4d8, which
Oh,
It's definitely
you got
okay.
max on 2 of them.
that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful, mate.
Yeah,
You
you're
can
almost
heal
at full
everyone.
health, aren't you?
53 or 58. Anybody
he's
else
pretty
need healing drug? You can only use it once every long rest. Just so you know
Not
that. I
yet.
can give it to anybody. It takes an action if I'm in a combat, but you can use it once every long rest.
Oh, I don't need it at the moment.
Alright,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you guys start searching.
Yeah.
Also, Eros-san, you hear as somebody appears to have gotten a mortal blow on someone.
Yeah, I also comes back and just looks at it and goes like, "Good job, Lily."
All right, so you guys start searching cells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, investigation check on anyone who wishes to make an investigation check, and if someone has a low investigation check, they might want to help someone who has a higher one.
So what
help.
about I'll have Explo, and I will also guidance him. So advantage and a D4.
Okay. Lily, then you're helping me.
Yep.
28.
28. 25.
But Giovanni, you
Oh.
have an extra D4.
No,
who has an
it's
extra D4?
Explo, because
Me.
I was helping Explo. So.
Okay,
And
Explo,
that's
you
a-
have an extra D4.
That's a
Which
1,
is
so
1.
29.
All right. So, Explo, you managed to run in first due to the fact that you were closer.
There is mold on this roof.
You managed to find a whole bunch of prisoners. They are being held prisoner. You're not sure why. The shadow usually doesn't take prisoners. You see people starving. You see people who are of varying races. Most of them are of Aarakocra. However, in the last cell on the end of this straight thing, you see three. You see three. They're Afridi, just sort of sitting in the cell.
Is that the
So-
fire thingy?
That's the fire Jin.
Ooh. Well, I guess I gotta pick the lock.
Yep. Wait, before you do that, well, check if they're okay.
You can
Like-
check the other cells if you wish.
They're
But
not
these
in.
ones, they appear to be fine.
Okay.
Well, except for almost
Externally.
dying of starvation.
They appear externally fine, I'll say. They don't
Well,
have any wounds.
I don't trust fire gens, so you guys can go talk to that guy while I start picking the locks of everybody else.
I will pick those locks then.
Alright, Tabaki, do you approach as soon as he
Yes,
points
I
out who's in there?
Yeah. So
As
I
you
go,
approach, you see that he seems to be in a cross-legged position, like in your vision, and his eyes just look up at you, completely red. And then he just sort of looks down, like he did in the vision, closes his eyes, and then looks up confused at you.
and I tell him I've yeah. What should I tell him?
I have some of your blood, please.
Yes, may I have some of your blood?
Yes.
No, I tell him I've been sent by Sekvos and I've come to aid you.
He says, "Is that what that weird thing on my face was?" As he starts looking around, confused at you.
Did he show you the blood
He,
and the
I just
future?
felt something on my face and I couldn't see. And my head felt like it was forced to look in your direction.
It was a blessing.
He
You should be grateful.
He nods. He nods and he goes, "All right, God's blessing me now, guys." And the other ones laugh a little bit as he stands up. "So you're here to help us?"
Yes, and I
25 gold pieces to open the door.
I already opened it for them.
Oh.
Yeah, you rolled to open the door. Is that what you were doing? That door?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, you open the door. They begin walking out. However,
many
they
other-
do not have weapons.
Obviously.
How many other prisoners are there?
There's 5 other cell doors, and each one contains at least 3 people.
1, 2, 3. Why am I rolling at advantage?
So, Lily's
4,
helping you, I'll say.
5. Well, the lowest one is a 16.
Alright. Yeah, you managed to get all the doors open except for the 16 one, but I'll say that Lily helped you and you got the 26 instead.
Yeah, she used her axe. This is taking too long. Boom.
All right, so all the prisoners are free.
What
Do you
about the
wish
guard?
to talk to any of them?
I'm more concerned about the guard.
Yes, the guard is returning to normal.
Yeah, so Arson will ask if anyone needs some healing.
All right, they appeared externally fine. What they would more benefit from is something like create food and water. They don't look
Lily?
like they don't have. They don't look like they've been nutritioned, if that's a word, in a while.
I give my food rations to them.
Sure, I'll say that you are currently out of food,
Okay.
and
I
you
only
gave
have
food to all of them.
I only have purify food and drink. I don't have anything that will create it.
Fair enough.
Well,
So-
doesn't
I give
Benjamin
them all
have
that.
anything like that?
Wait.
Prepared.
You're a paladin, right, Lily?
Huh?
Lily? You're a
It's not
paladin, right, Lonnie? Lonnie, you're a paladin, right?
Yeah.
You do have create food and water.
No, I mean I
It's
don't
a
have it
third-
prepared.
It's a third level
Oh.
spell, and it's probably not prepared.
Yeah, and he
Okay,
probably doesn't have it either.
Well, at least they got something into the system. I go walk to the guard and just like sit myself in the stairway right in front of his face,
Okay. Do
fumbling.
you wish to
two...
examine him at all?
Hell no! I'm just sitting there fumbling 2 bombs and waiting for him to wake up.
Okay.
I'm a little bit pissed.
So
Okay.
Arson yells over, they don't know what they're doing, the shadow is controlling them. Just so that he knows.
Oh,
What
he
if
knows.
he got turned to shadow willingly,
No.
trying to hold back my grudge?
So I'm going over to him and say, let's not scare the poor person who was just, well, not being himself.
I don't think it's gonna be easy to scare. Look at his sword! It's big! It's bigger than me!
It is a long
Oh.
sword, which is longer than you. Yes.
So, lots of things are bigger than you.
What did you just say?
I'm bigger than you too.
Size doesn't matter.
I just said that you were not big build. That's what I said.
Not my fault. I didn't ask to get born.
See? So put those bombs away and quit having your grudge.
Sure.
All right, Erasan, do you wish to examine the person?
Yeah, see if he's okay. See if he, because we did do quite a lot of damage to him.
I
I'm gonna
help
get
him.
you to make 2 rolls. Make a nature check and make a medicine check.
Well,
I
I
like it.
help him, so
All right, advantage then.
Nature
what is your nature? Okay.
7, and my medicine is 1.
Mine is 3.
I'm helping you with that.
His is -3.
Oh, -3.
No, mine is 3. Plus
So
3.
yours is so it's a plus
Is
3.
it +3 or -3?
It's plus 3. Mine is plus 3.
Yeah, so I'm helping you with that.
Ooh, yeah.
You know from your travels that shadow creatures come back fully restored. So he's going to be fine in that way. However, Giovanni, Edo-san, I should say, you notice that this creature has what looks like a cobra's neck and head, which
Oh.
is indicative of a species called the Yuan-ti.
I don't
Yeah.
like those guys at all.
They are usually not very friendly to other species.
Do you tell me this? Do you tell me this, Giovanni?
I'm going to be like, oh, I think you want to step back a little bit.
Why?
No reason.
Okay, I just walk into the group and start making water with my alchemy jug for people that is thirsty.
Your alchemy joke. I throw in my decant of endless water. Just
What?
safe. Just yeah, I have a decant of endless water.
And you don't need to use a spell?
Nope.
You don't need to use your alchemy jug because he has a
Well-
thing that can just create water endless.
Well, fuck you, I'm making beer now.
But I can say double fuck you, cause fountain, endless water, baby.
Yeah, but still beer.
Thing in
But
your
people
alchemy.
need something to sustain their body currently, and beer is not sustaining your body.
There's
Sure it
plenty
is.
of food in beer.
You can't just live on food, on beer.
I have.
Alright. So, as those two are arguing and all that other stuff is happening, Tabaki, you have the three Ifriti standing in front of you. What do you wish to do?
I wish to. I'm just letting them know that the blood guided me here, but now we need to find the storm, and I have not yet seen it.
They go. They look at each other. They look back at you and say, "Well, we plan to use it if possible against the enemy. We know where it is."
Well, what
And
the
that's-
hell are we standing here for? I start walking up the stairs. And they're gonna tell me it's downstairs.
They
So,
they tell Tabaki that it is upstairs past those big doors that you didn't go through.
So I tell them, then let's go there, and you will use the orb.
Alright.
Maybe tell the
You
rest
seem
of
to
the
know a
people
lot
where
of
the
things
farm
we
is.
don't know. Do you know anything else we should know?
That today you will achieve a great victory, as the blood has foretold.
Alright. And he sort of looks at the other two, and they sort of shrug a little bit. And he goes, "Okay, I'm trusting you here. You sort of appeared as my eyes were covered in blood or something. So, guess I have to go with you." And he just sort of walks out of the door.
And I follow him. I just
Okay.
keep casting guidance on him, because I can do that unlimited. So his eyes just keeps going red as he sees things clearer.
Yes. Now he actually sees things clearer. The other thing was just covering his eyes in blood. So this is actually useful to him. Is anybody staying to watch this guard recover? Or is everybody going upstairs?
Yeah, I'm staying
Well,
towards the cover.
Lonnie could use the orb to speed it up.
I could try.
Yes, she can.
Yeah, I'm staying with
Sure.
Lonnie to.
Alright, so she asks the orb to activate, as is its temperament. It needs to be asked nicely.
Oh, Orby Orb of Orbiness.
Yeah, it doesn't
Please
just
activate.
work. It needs to be told to her.
Orby Orb of Orbiness. Please Orby it.
Alright, so it activates. He gets instantly recovered, and he starts getting up. His neck extends unnaturally before the rest of his body gets up, and it just sort of looks at both of you. And then the rest of his body sort of just gets pushed up into this weird snake-like neck, and it goes back to his torso as he just looks at both of you and he says, "Why did you kidnap me?"
They said we did not I and Lily here did not kidnap you. We actually saved you from the shadow beings.
Why would you save me?
Okay, fuck this guy. I'm using a bomb.
Batter up, baby.
You are upstairs.
Yes,
Aw.
well, phew. So let me say this. The whole world is kind of in an apocalypse and we need each other to survive currently. We're currently in the plane of air and every plane is also infected. So if we free every plane, then the material plane, everything can go back to normal.
He side eyes you with his slit eye that is just sort of glaring at you. You need to roll a persuasion check.
But even though I'm telling the truth.
Yes, persuasion is truth.
Oh, that's an
And I'll
8.
say that Lily is helping you. That's fine. 16, he's going to try. It's insight, but it's the opposite. So he's going to try and see. Okay, so he failed against you. He rolled lower. Therefore, he goes. So, what you say is true. Then why am I in a dungeon?
Well, I don't know. Those shadow creatures know, but we can't communicate with them, so I don't know.
He looks back and forth. So you attempted to rescue me.
Yep.
And you know what I am, correct?
Yep.
Again, I am confused as to why.
Okay, to make it very simple, we need to leave the past for the past now and focus on the future, which we won't have if the shadow creatures win.
So the fact that I've skinned, played, and eaten most of your kind that I've encountered before this doesn't bother you.
Like I said, past is past, future is future, present is present, and for the moment we need to focus on what is in here and now, not the past. Because then we would have already lost long ago.
I'm a bit hungry right now. Convince me not to eat you. As he licks his snake-like tongue wraps around his fang.
Do I have permission to blow him up now?
No, not yet.
We're upstairs, aren't we?
Open wide, and you will have more steel in your face than you can handle.
He looks at the halfling that is standing next to you. Do you have an opinion in this? Lily, you are currently standing next to him.
No.
He just sort of looks, as much of his snake face can emote, he sort of looks like, what? Sort of look on his face. And then he just looks over at Edo-san and he goes,
Goes
Maybe
nothing.
like that.
That perfect freeze frame,
I
though.
know.
Look at his face.
Young Tai disconnected.
Oh god, the freeze frame.
Her.
You froze up for us in the perfect freeze frame.
I froze?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were about to say something, Young Tai.
Your whole face was screaming, that did not fit where it should have.
Alright, did you at least hear what I said?
No. The young
Alright,
guy was
he's-
about to say something, but we didn't hear what.
Okay, so he just said that he was willing to go with you. For now. Unless if he got too hungry.
I also just grabbed his ration and just chuck some at him. Eat up.
He looks at them. Technically, your rations are made up of multiple things, such as vegetables and things. And he just looks at the meat part, and he just grabs it and throws it in his mouth, and then gives you the rest. So he ate half your ration.
Mine!
But well, okay.
He ate half your ration. He didn't eat the rest.
I was
Didn't eat his
hungry.
vegetables.
It's okay, Lily.
Technically, snakes are carnivores, so they
Mhm.
don't eat fruit.
I think they're the only true carnivores.
I'm not sure.
Lions,
No.
tigers,
Uh,
wolves.
To be classified as a carnivore, you have to have 80% of your diet be meat.
Yeah, the things that I just called, they eat meat.
Right,
Cool,
but
I
I
think
think
I'm a
like, snakes
carnivore.
only eat meat. Like they don't eat like grass or anything like that.
Yeah. Snakes. Oh wait, crocodiles.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the subject. Therefore, we will move on. So, yeah. Who rolled the nature check?
That was
And-
Giovanni.
How high did they roll?
23.
23?
Yeah.
23.
Okay. So, as you're climbing the stairs, a part of their assorted history comes back to you. These creatures technically, originally at least, chose to become part snake. They do, however, reproduce. So he might not be one of the ones who chose to be one, but they can also choose to become different percentages of snake, depending on how many dark rituals they're willing to do.
Do they lay eggs?
Yes, they do lay eggs.
Disgusting.
But since he only has a head of a snake, he probably didn't do very many of those rituals.
Yeah, it can even go so far that you have head of a snake and snake hands.
Yeah,
Snake
you can get a
hands.
head of a snake hand. You can get a full snake body and arms, and head. Snake
Why
head
not?
and
Why
body.
not just become a damn druid?
And then
Nature's
there's the
calling.
ones that just have scales, and they look otherwise like people. So, this one obviously did some rituals to have a head of a snake. Usually when they're born, they just have scales. They look otherwise like people.
Have I reached the room with the orb?
Okay, so we'll switch back to you two since everybody is going back up, but I thought Erosan might change his mind based on this information, but if not, we'll continue.
Nope.
Okay. So, you guys managed to get to the upper floor first, and there's the large door, and the three Ifriti, including the other Ifriti that you brought with you, which is 4 Ifriti. Technically, he wasn't part of the fight because you told him to go first, and he went down the stairs further than you guys did, but then when he heard the fight was over, he came back up. So, he's with you guys now. And you guys are standing in front of the big door with the little doors in front of it that were at the top of a staircase inside the building.
Are
As
we at the
opposed to
booby
the-
trap door?
The booby trap door is behind you.
Okay.
But we keep
Has
going.
the trap gone off?
The trap has not gone off.
That's a good sign.
Perfect.
But you do hear on the outside of the door. Those things are still trying to get in.
That's too bad, I guess. Let's go.
They really don't know from giving up, do they?
They're trying. And their tenacity is admirable. But their intelligence is not.
Sounds like my character.
Don't play Lily now.
All right, so it is Explo and Tabaki are currently standing in front of a door.
And we keep going. Open it.
All right, you attempt to open the door is locked.
Do you want to do
And open sesame.
All right, he walks over, and the door opens.
on to the next door? Or wherever.
All right. The next room, from what you can see before you go in the door, I'm giving you a chance to not go in the door if you wish. You see from the entrance of the door, you see a large, just gargantuan room. And you see huge pillars that, like, you could fit like 10 people from one side to the other just to get from one side of to the other of the pillar through the middle of it.
Is it dark in there?
They're quite huge pillars. And they're currently holding up the ceiling of this room. In the middle of the room, you see what looks like an orb set inside a pedestal, and you see what looks like a one of those giant people, except he is covered in shadow, and he is currently at this orb thing, currently trying to manipulate it. Though it seems as though he's not succeeding.
I just shout out, let's kill it, and I run into battle.
Maybe we should go get the other giants?
Yeah.
In battle.
He's already in battle.
Well, I'm dangerously impulsive, so I'm not gonna second guess. I'm running right after him.
But
Alright, Erdo-san and
guys.
Lily, I'm gonna warn you, are 3 turns behind you.
They
Yeah,
were
that's
slow. Let
big-
them be slow.
what to say? I have to go in like a few minutes, because otherwise, it's like 2 o'clock here.
Yes. We'll just get you guys into the scene,
Okay.
and we'll see what happens. So,
Okay.
it's not immediately going to be a fight, due to the fact that he's like 500 feet away from you.
Charge.
So, you guys start running into the room, and he
Mhm.
sees you enter the room, and he notices that he is currently not able to manipulate this thing. He knows that 2 of the giants have already been taken by heroes, obviously. And you guys are probably heroes. So even though he's this huge thing compared to you guys, he runs to the back of the room, and there's a door into another area behind this orb, and he runs into that room and shuts the door.
Pussy.
After him.
After him.
You hear the sounds before you can even get to the room of things being moved in front of the doors being locked.
I think someone just shat his pants when he saw you.
Well, little tiny creatures that can kill giant creatures like him. He knows that he's not going to win, even though he's covered in shadow, so he's strategically retreating.
I am
Sure not to
smaller than his fingernails.
And we are okay. We are basically the bacteria of humans.
So yeah,
Yes.
I start charging after the door.
Fuck yeah, the
Alright.
door is going down. How
Yes.
many bomb charges is this gonna take?
200.
I'm guessing-
Alright, you manage to get to the door, and you get to it after like 5 turns of just running.
And dashing.
Yes, and dashing. And you're standing in front of the door. However, this door doesn't have a little door that you can enter. It's just a big door.
Oh no, what are we to do? What is it made of?
It's made of some sort of metals.
Some
Multiple
sort of
types
metals.
of metal.
Multiple
Yes,
types
multiple
of metal.
Yeah.
I just throw an acid grenade at it just to see if it has any kind of effect.
Alright, you throw an acid grenade and it doesn't do anything.
I turn my head to the back and say, "We're screwed."
Let me check one thing first to see if it specifies creature. Okay, it does.
Can I do an arcana on the door to see if it's magical or if it's the alloy of the door?
Yeah, can you do that? I'll help you and I will guide you. Is it Arcana?
Alright,
blood on
Arcana,
it.
go ahead.
21.
Yeah.
Plus a d4.
I'm gonna get a 1 again. Ooh, a 2!
Yeah, it's partially because it's magic and partially because of what it's made out of.
Do anybody here has to spell magic? I
I
don't even know
dispel the
if I have.
door. And
You can what?
I dispel the door and you will destroy it.
Sure, dispel the door.
Alright, the door is dispelled, however, there is still metals contained within it that will resist acid damage.
That's not good. What about blunt fucking force?
You can try and beat the door down.
No,
you
I'm
want.
thinking making a huge collection of flashbang grenade because that is force damage. It hasn't any damage, it's just force.
Okay, so I cast Bless on myself and I ask one of the zombies to help me and I'm gonna try and punch down this door.
Alright, so as you guys are doing that, Edo-san and Lily, you see the doors open and you see that your companions are further in and you start going in that direction.
So that will be 20 and I have 2 of these, because one from Bless, one from my cantrip. So 23.
Alright, 23. If this door didn't have what seems like debris behind it, it would have moved. But
Okay,
you look
yeah,
through
yeah,
the door and there's a huge, boulder or something blocking the door.
You know what? Fuck this door. I'm gonna decay it.
I'm gonna make it rust.
Alright, the door cannot make a constitution save. It's impossible. So
it is
you
rust.
deal 27 damage to the door, and the door sort of rusts and turns in on itself. You can get in, however, there's a large stone thing in the way.
Okay.
Well, stone can be blown up, so that's good. But then again, should I use acid or fire?
You
How
hear
big is
what
it?
sounds like a large person panicking.
Well, that's too bad for him. How big is actually the stone? How big is the stone?
The stone is like
the party.
It's bigger than a giant.
Okay, so I'm not gonna be able to force it into the giant's face. Probably.
You could try.
Well, let's start with a simple bomb charge and acid grenade and just see how big the hole gets.
Alright, so before you roll any of that, Edo-san, what are you doing?
I'm just imagining the scene from The Shining and just all of a sudden, here's the party.
Yeah, are you just watching them do this?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go up to him and say, Are we scaring giants now?
Somehow, yeah.
I'm gonna help you with your plan.
As I'm putting the acid bomb charge on the stone, I start screaming into the cracks, "Here's Explo!" and I set it off.
Alright. Roll a damage for 3 bombs, I'll say.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you managed to make a huge hole in the
45.
rock that you could probably move around. But it's still, you'll have to climb up a rock, and it will take athletics checks to get
I'm gonna use another bomb charge to make the hole bigger.
Okay. Roll another one.
Zombie creatures will also try and push the rock out of the way, so it's easier to pass through.
60 total damage.
15 more damage to the rock. How big is the hole?
The hole is quite large. And
Okay.
as the zombies enter the room to start pushing it, they manage to push it. But
And
very, very slowly.
It's there.
So
All
we're
right.
charging now.
Wait, where is your mechanical bear thing actually?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I
you-
usually
Alright,
ride it.
But since one of us has to go,
Yeah.
I'm going to allow you guys to get into the room because the zombies are slowly pushing it out of the way. So, like, 10 turns later, you manage to get enough space for one of you to pass through at a time. And you see what looks like a open glass window, sort of like a double door. And you see the giant turn around, and he smiles at you with the crescent moon light up smile.
How far away is he?
Oof. Hold monster.
How far away is he?
Before that happens,
Okay.
he jumps out the window, and you can cast Hold Monster at that point.
How far away can I move? Like, can I also jump out the window in a moment, or?
Not in a movement.
Hmm.
This room is like 100 feet across.
I'll cast. I'll run up to him and I'll banish him instead.
What?
Okay.
Oh,
Vanish? What does that
Yeah.
do?
It gets rid of him, basically.
For temporarily, while we all gather up and get ready to butcher him.
Okay. You cast Banish on him. I'll do the roll. His charisma is not as high as some of his other stats, but he's still decent at it. 22.
He made it.
Okay, so he looks at you and you feel your magic ting off of him as he resists it.
So
And he
60
goes,
feet. If I follow, that would be 65 feet for me. How long can I chuck my super explosive?
I think the range depends on the bomb. I'm not sure.
It's
I
whatever
don't
you
remember.
throw normally. It's just the radius of it that determines that.
Damn
Okay.
it. Well, I chuck an acid grenade at him.
Alright, you do not reach him, unfortunately. He's a little bit too far away.
Oh, that piece of shit.
And he just sort of looks at Tabaki and says, "That's not gonna work on me." And he jumps out. And then you hear him not hit the ground. And you hear as what comes flying up is a dragon that is big enough for him to sit on. And that is where we're going to end.
You wanted your dragon. Here it is.
But it wasn't